Hey everyone, Goat the GM here, and thanks again for being with the Ret-Con-Artists. In this week's episode, the group is going to be wrapping some things up. Arthur's going to meet some interesting characters, and some pretty hefty dominoes are going to be set in motion. Again, we really appreciate you guys being with us. Enjoy this episode.
No, you can go live. It's fine. We're just going to discuss that gif of Ryan, like people trying to feed Ryan Gosling cereal.
Ah, yes.
Do you know that guy died and then Ryan Gosling actually took a bite of cereal for him?
That's adorable.
That's wholesome. That's wholesome as fuck.
There you go.
Was
Part of this balanced
one
breakfast.
guy, and he died of like cancer or something.
Aw.
Well, there you go. Ryan Gosling, if you're
Woody's
watching
down.
this at any time,
Sponsor us.
Take another bite.
good
Hi
for
everybody,
you.
we are the Ret-Con-Artists, and welcome back to this stream. We're not sponsored by Ryan Gosling or cereal, but Ryan Gosling and cereal, if you're watching right now,
Or cereal.
please feel free.
We have to
Cereal.
we gotta
Yeah.
make cereal.
What
Hi.
would Ret-Con-Artist cereal be, I wonder?
Captain
Probably-
Crunch.
I'm pretty sure
Really?
it's a bunch of sad faces in a bowl of like lukewarm milk.
Tarvacos.
Sad loops.
Carvacos.
Differently. Differently
Tarbuck
colored
in a sombrero.
slime motions.
Bevington berries.
That's each box of Tarvacos has a different like member
Flavor.
as a flavor.
Collect them all
Yeah. They're
for the little
Bevington
keychain
berries.
inside. Tarvox Rum Barrel Crunch. Nice.
There you go. Look at that.
That's good.
That is
MC's
pretty
on the
damn
ball
good.
as
That's
always.
product placement I can get behind.
Good to
Right.
see you guys again. We are back after a week. Well, technically a week. 2 weeks of D&D, but last week we played Magicka 2, which was ridiculous.
fucking
It was
It was a magical time.
it was a drunken fun
It
Magic.
was so fun.
nightmare. Yeah, it was a good time. So, but 2 weeks since D&D, so it's been a bit. Is there anybody who would like to provide a recap, which I'm probably going to have to edit afterwards by adding more stuff in?
Go for it,
No.
Ken.
No, I love the quick.
You're gonna do it right now.
All right, let me do it the same way that it's usually done. So we fought a thing.
So
It had an
Wait.
extra head, and then again it had another extra head, and
Arthur kidnapped a
lady
little girl,
got
took a
pulled
swan dive.
off, and
now I jumped off the ship for a completely unimportant NPC and saved her, and then almost broke my knees.
probably
Arthur was I guess drunk and just jumped off the ship with the child and is now in the Bahamas drinking coconuts. I
The
have
Bahamas of the Sword Coast.
pina coladas, and the child has non-alcoholic beverage of some sort.
Daiquiris, non-alcoholic daiquiris.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a bit. Yeah.
There you go.
What if she's allergic to strawberries?
Vera
mango.
And
shot
getting
a
launched
hole-
off a boat.
Yeah.
I'm
Vera
sorry.
shot a hole in the Hydra, and then
Tim was there.
Tim's rock.
He existed
He was in
wildly
the
fought.
Tim's rock in his scepter cock.
Scepter.
that's
I like
true.
how it's a scepter. It sounds
It
so
is a
card. It
fancy
sounds so
game.
card
It is
captors.
sort of a scepter.
I love it.
Tarvok got hurt too. I
Mhm.
think he killed the thing, and then the thing bit my leg, and I hit its head until it let go.
Yeah.
And
Until
then
the
it
teeth
fell
came
into
out.
the
That's how you
ocean.
help your children.
With a big old sploosh. It was good.
It was a giant albino turd that hit the ocean.
Now we have holes in a boat.
It looks like
So
the
we
ship
can't
just
land it on
dumped
the
its
water.
its load of sewage or something.
It's like one of those weird white dog turds you see on the side of the road, bleached in the sun. Anyway,
It's just
sorry.
been-
Is there an old adage that Tarvok has known about that, or
What?
no? The
Don't
old
sit
what?
in a bowl
You
of
know what
beans.
they say about
Oh.
white dog turds? They're
Oh,
not
I think
They're all
Henry's.
ice cream.
Just blurt it out
Maybe-
whenever you think
Maybe
of it.
let's.
No, yeah, I don't even know if we want that.
Give me time.
All
I
right.
gotta make it first.
The white dog turd? Oh god. Oh god. All right. Moving on. Good recap actually. That was a solid group effort, and I think we've got pretty much everything recapped. Lots of weird
10 out of
shit
10.
was happening. Yeah. Did you get a new green screen, Max?
No, same green screen. I couldn't find the blue one.
Oh. It looks
What do I
good.
do with it?
Like that.
There's a wrinkle right here, and it's
Yeah.
bugging me.
That's okay.
Ah,
That's
Super
character.
wrinkly.
It does.
And that's it. It adds
Punch
to
it.
Make it sit in front of it or something. Like be like
Mhm.
half off the screen.
There you go.
Just like bring your chair up a little bit, angle yourself, just sit kind of.
Get a
Aloof.
giant
Sit like
sticker
a tour
and
guide,
put
just
it on
like-
top.
All right. So now that we are all
Yeah, just
Perfect.
we're all in position and
Cover
chilled
of
out,
A rap album, right? Look at him. I'm comfortable. Hope you guys are.
this mixtape
Oh my
is
gosh.
fire.
We need to take a picture so you can edit the background out.
Lit.
Someone screen that, please. But yeah, we've been away from each other for a while, and it's good to get back and play some D&D. So that's what we're about to do right now. Max, you and I had discussed an idea, and this is something new that we're going to try for you guys tonight. We're going to open the scene on the sandy shores of this strange island that Arthur and Princess Catalina have landed on. And they landed near a small beach cottage, from what I can recall. And I believe it was a dwarven man and woman that came out, all concerned, and started moving towards you guys. I'm pretty sure that's exactly where we left off. So Max, how would you feel about reverse DMing this scene for us? And I will play any NPCs that you throw at me.
Well, Arthur,
Taras.
after gracefully gliding his way to this island.
Mhm.
He didn't land on it. They glided to it gracefully.
Ileand.
Yeah, he lands on the island.
Okay.
And he touches down.
Yeah.
And he hears the princess laughing. Because you had outlined before in the previous session that she actually wasn't even scared. She was actually having a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Once he kind of pulled the rug away from her eyes, and as he lands, Arthur sets down the rug, and the princess immediately pulls the rug off and kind of like holds it out, because the whole time he was falling, all he could smell was Bjorn's sweat on this rug. And like this musk of Bjorn, like, because he was holding the whole thing. So as he's falling, he's like, I smell old crypt, I smell dust, and I smell Bjorn. So he lands and immediately is like, be free, rug. And kind of like lets it go. So as the princess kind of like stands there, maybe, I don't know, I assume she's probably still pretty giddy and excited after that long trip he just had. Arthur kind of like checks his gear, makes sure he's good. Princess looks safe. Then he sees the two dwarves kind of coming at him. You could tell me, I mean, what do the dwarves look like? Are they armed? Are they fishermen? Are they husband wife? Does it look like what do they
from their
what do I see?
appearance, I would say they're probably husband and wife. They're older as dwarves go. Maybe they're retired and that's why they live in a little beach cottage on this strange island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can go with that. I can go with that. Here we go. So, obviously these dwarves live here. They're retired. As Arthur kind of like looks around, he realizes where the ship was on the Sword Coast, and he kind of like, maybe in his own mind, puts together that this was probably an old, maybe like storage island of some sort, maybe a fisherman's spot. So these dwarves probably like run this spot as far as, or used to maybe, back when it was used. So Arthur remains friendly, and he kind of like waves to the dwarves as they come up to him, and he kind of like tucks the princess kind of like behind him a little bit, as to, you know, nothing bad can happen to her.
Okay.
He waits for the dwarves to get there.
They come rushing up because they've just seen a person with a small child land on the beach with what appeared to be a flying carpet. The dwarven man kind of leads the pack, and the woman's kind of trying to keep up with him. As dwarves go, she's even shorter than he is. And he stops about 10 feet from you guys. Are you okay?
Well, we're doing just fine. How are you?
A little shocked to see someone land on our small island. Are you here to steal our stuff?
Tieflings don't land here often. And Arthur kind of like looks up into the sky and kind of looks around.
And the old man asks, I can't say I trust tieflings. And then the wife smacks him and steps forward and says, don't mind him. Do you need anything to eat or drink? Are you well? What happened?
Oh, well, the last thing we remember is we were flying ever so gracefully in the sky, and we decided to land on this lovely island. And also that. And he kind of like points up at the ship as it's slowly kind of like continuing on its path and way up in the sky. Maybe like a little dot of it is all you could really see way up there. He just kind of like points in the direction a little bit.
Okay. The woman, she stares up into the sky, sees this strange ship, and oh my, I can't say I've ever seen anything like that before. Are there people still up there?
Oh, I highly doubt it. I would imagine that all the people by now have turned into hideous monsters and possibly horrible beasts with large fangs and maybe tails with spikes. Most likely they're all transformed at this point. But let me ask you a question. If this beach were a map and the water were the closest city on the mainland, where would we be?
Oh, well...
He kind of like points at a shell that's like on the edge of the water. That kind of like represents like the mainland, I guess.
She kind of hops over to where you're pointing and draws in the sand a quick little thing. She goes, well, here's the Sword Coast, as you see. This shell that you pointed at as our island, and she grabs a handful of rocks and shells and kind of scatters them around it and says, and this is a small cluster of islands. We've purchased this plot of land. On the other side, there's some strange fishing outfit that we've never really gone near, but we've been here for a couple of years now, and they haven't bothered us. But we are actually about, I would say, 20 miles off the coast of, kind of near the river Chionthar, or Baldur's Gate area.
Oh, well, that's terrifying. They don't like me there. Well, I think we'll be on our way. I thank you for your assistance. Your home is that way, and he kind of points back at the way we came, the way they came.
Yeah, yes, that's our home, but where are you going exactly?
I think that maybe me and my little friend here. And I'm sorry, how old is the princess again? I don't remember.
She
how
was
old
like
she is.
8, roughly 7 or 8.
Okay, that's right. So she's pretty young then. So the whole time during this conversation, he was kind of keeping an eye on the princess to make sure she didn't run off, and he kind of like he kind of like points that he's going to go the opposite direction. Before he leaves, he says, "Well, hold on a minute. Actually, now that fishing outfit. Do you know who they are? Are they
Mm,
pirates by chance?"
I don't think so. Lord, I hope not. Like I said, they've always kept to themselves, and we just kind of stay in our nice little home and drink and eat and enjoy the beach.
Fascinating.
Yeah, they haven't been all that warm. I'll say that. We've been at the edge of our property, and they've never really welcomed us over or anything like that. However, again, I guess it takes two to tango. Maybe they are nice people.
Arthur like laughs a little bit too hard at that two to tango comment. He's just like, he like nudges the rug, even trying to get a rise out of the rug.
It's
Arthur
flopped.
says,
I think it's flopped on the beach right now, like a big ass beach towel just laying there.
Arthur says, well, as you know, me and my family, we used to own these lands, these islands, this cluster. We'll go way back. I'll tell you the boring parts of it. You go way back to the wars and, well, honestly, the reason why most of you hate tieflings. But I will only be here for a short period of time. But all I ask is full access to the island and not to be interrupted.
Interesting. Yes. Okay. Well, you have access to our section. I can't promise the other section. Like I said, we've never met them, but you're welcome to our house if you need to rest.
That would be. Do you have a boat or an airship or any type of ball that will teleport things?
I'm sorry, a ball?
Never mind that. Do you have a boat or an airship or a blimp or maybe even any other gizmo?
We have a boat, yes, but and the husband pipes up. He says, "I'm working on the boat right now. Thank you. I could have it ready to bring you back to town. I do need to go back to town tomorrow, so if you're okay to wait, or
Well, what is broken on the boat? I suppose your friends on the other side of the island most likely would have something useful.
Very likely, yes. It's kind of my pride and joy, but there's a few leaks in it. It's been kind of washed against the rocks a few too many times. I tied it wrong. It just needs some patches, basically. I'm good at what I do, I promise, but I mean, I guess if you want to,
I'm sure you
ask
are.
them for
Do
something.
you have any idea who this is? And he points at the princess.
Carly Rae Jepsen? No, I have no idea who that is. I'm sorry.
Well, it's obviously a little human girl.
Yeah, you're accurate there.
To ask, I suppose. Okay, well, nonetheless, we will be on our way. I think I'm gonna leave her and my friend here, and he kind of like kicks the rug, trying to like wake it up. Because it is a sentient rug, I believe, isn't it?
It just like goes like this and like flips its tassel at you to like fuck off. I'm tanning here.
Arthur's like now get. But and he kind of like kicks it again. He's like, "Well, make me pull another strand out. I'll do it."
It like stands up and flexes a bit almost at Arthur, and then just kind of like walks over.
Like Arthur, like whoa, like Arthur, he kind of like a little bit, just that little like he's kind of a little bit worried about this rug suffocating him.
And to that point, the couple kind of look at you as if you have 3 heads and go, "Is that safe?"
Have you ever met an unsafe rug? If you have, please, I would.
Good point. Good point. All right.
So he tells the rug to do the thing with the like what he does with Bjorn, to kind of like rests on his shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
only with the princess,
Okay.
and to keep the princess safe at all costs. And that the rug is to 100% responsible for the princess at this point.
Okay.
And at that, Arthur will tell the princess to go with the dwarves back to their home.
Okay.
Now he pulls his flute out, or lute rather.
Okay.
The one that makes people dance.
Okay. Are these people now headed back already with the princess?
No, they're probably still kind of hanging out. Well, maybe they're probably talking amongst themselves.
Okay.
Arthur would have kind of like walked away like a little bit with the princess to kind of talk to her.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, but I don't remember. Do you have to be? Crap. I assume you have to be what's it called? Attuned to the flute, right?
Not that I recall.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember. Yeah. Okay. So if you do not, all right. So then he asks the princess if she knows how to play it. He assumes she does, considering she's royalty. She knows how to play some instruments, I would assume. But...
Hold on, I don't know if I've actually done a very good princess voice yet.
Just clear your throat.
No, I don't know how to know.
Oh my god.
I fucking knew it.
No, hold on. I'll try and do a better voice.
Princess body.
That's even worse.
Illusion.
I don't know how to do it. I almost want to go with the deeper voice. Emma like to play the flute.
For fuck's sake.
Why don't you just talk in your regular voice and
Okay.
we'll all imagine it?
Let's do that. She says, "No, I mean, I can try. I've played the recorder in grade 2."
Doesn't sound like Elmo now.
I'm sorry.
So,
Princess Carolina.
well, all you need to do is really play just a few notes. And what it'll do, and he kind of whispers to the princess that it'll make one person, or one humanoid rather, that can understand it and hear it dance. And he kind of hands it to her, and he says, if anything, unsafe happens, to simply pick the most dangerous looking thing and play the flute and run away, to give her, just in case.
Yeah.
Okay.
She smiles.
Kind of like, yeah.
It's like her new toy. She smiles and kind of hugs it and leans up on her toes as you lean down, gives you a peck on the cheek, and then goes and runs towards the 2 people there.
Yeah, and at that, Arthur goes, "Oh, actually," and as she runs away, and Arthur realizes he's gonna have a hell of a time getting that back from her later on. So he might make her sad. Okay, so at that, he heads on over towards the other side of the island, knowing that the princess is safe for now. And he kind of like winds his way through the bushes, like a coconut falls in front of him, and he kind of picks it up and is like,
"Mimosa."
Yeah, he picks it up and mimosa. And
the coconut
shakes it. I don't know if Arthur's ever seen a coconut or not, but either way, he doesn't remember seeing one. So he's kind of like, "Oh, cool, that's an interesting rock." He kind of like throws it down. He kind of makes his way across the island, and I imagine these other people on the island, maybe half mile, 3/4 of a mile across the island. Maybe he runs into like a what is it called?
Like a shipyard kind of thing.
But yeah, but it's like in like a port or in a what's the term for it?
A port?
Yeah, but what's
a wharf?
A gulf, I guess.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or like it's like an inlet.
A small bay.
A bay.
Yeah, okay. Down by the bay.
Yeah.
Where the coconuts grow.
He goes over like this little sand dune that's got some like bushes and trees on it, and he kind of looks down at this this bay, and he kind of sees like this like shipping outfit like all set up around this bay, and I imagine there'd be at least a couple smaller ships kind of floating there, kind of all tied up, maybe some boxes being moved around. But Ken, you can decide if Arthur can tell what they're shipping and what this is, if it's evil looking or not, kind of thing.
Okay.
the boxes that you see, you watch them for some time, I would say. You see them, like, they're quite large, these boxes. It takes 2 men to carry them off and onto these ships. And they're all unmarked. They don't seem to have any real fishing equipment present, that is apparent at least. And you kind of count roughly 10 to 15 men kind of moving in and out. And they're all, like I said, carrying these big boxes off of one ship, and then they're putting different boxes onto another. So they have 2 boats there right now. That's kind of what... it's hard to tell if it's legal or illegal, though. They definitely seem to be looking around, doing some heat checks now and then.
Okay. So Arthur is going to kind of walk the ridge a little bit more, and he kind of spots maybe a lookout guard or something of that nature. Kind of well on lookout. Kind of like maybe leaning against one of the palm trees, maybe smoking a cigarette or some sort. Just kind of relaxing, not expecting anything, knowing fair well, moreover that there's only 2 elderly dwarves that live on this island, so I don't imagine them being too uppity on the patrols.
Mm-hmm.
But Arthur's gonna kind of he's just gonna kind of walk up to the guy. He's just gonna kind of like come out of the tree, like, oh, and just kind of like dusting himself off and kind of looking like he was looking for them. He just goes, oh, there you are.
And I guess I'll be the typical wharf worker here. He jumps. He's smoking against this tree, and he just kind of jumps for a second and turns towards you. And he goes, "Oh, you scared the life out of me. Well, who are you?"
You don't recognize me.
No, can't say I do, friend. I've never actually met a tiefling up close. I'm sorry. I'm not being racist or anything, but I've never met it.
You know, this worked on you last time. And Arthur does a minor illusion on himself. And he makes himself the same race as this guy. Is it human? I assume it's human.
Sure, yeah, we'll go with that. The guy kind of looks at his blunt or his cigar or whatever he was smoking, rubs his eyes, and kind of goes, "What? Wait, what worked on me last time?"
Yeah, you don't remember. And Arthur reaches out to take whatever it is he's smoking, to smoke it with him. Kind of like, okay, you know, like laughing along with him, like, sure you don't remember.
Oh, okay, what are you doing here? Can I help you?
And Arthur kind of, like, he takes a good drag off of this thing and he hands it back to the guy. And Arthur's, well, no, what are you going to help me with? We're supposed to be watching out for things and hanging out. What do they got in the boxes these days anyway?
Okay, you're weirding me out, dude. Like, I think you're fucking with my head here. I'm a little out of it, but what do we got in the boxes? Who the hell are you, and why are you asking?
Before the guy finished his sentence, Arthur just kind of like, yeah, okay, it's fine, and I'm gonna go talk to, and he kind of like mutters like a name that doesn't really say the name, and starts walking towards the wharf, because Arthur looks like he's wearing similar clothes as everybody else, so he's trying to just kind of blend in, I guess you could say.
Okay. The guy, as you start walking towards it, he puts a hand on your chest and just kind of gives you a slight shove back, and he goes, "No. I don't know who you are. You're weirding me out, dude. I would suggest you turn around, head back to the other beach. There's a nice beach on the other side of the island, and just kind of leave me alone here. Let us do our jobs. Thanks."
Well, I'm here to help everyone do their jobs. That's the whole point of why I'm here.
Yeah, you've already kind of lied to me already here, and I'm sure I'm a little stony pants, but I need you to stop trying that shit, please, and just, you don't want to be here, dude. He pulls open his like, he's wearing a light coat, and he kind of pulls his coat open and puts his hand in his pants pocket, and you can see a dagger kind of sticking from his waistband.
A whole dagger. One whole
Well, at least the hilt of a dagger.
Yeah.
Dagger in your pocket.
It might be a very different appendage on the end of that dagger, but I will leave that to your imagination.
Okay. So Arthur, not wanting to deal with fighting anybody, he kind of like quickly looks and notices. You said there's a couple ships, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He kind of gets the lay of the land, and then he turns and he kind of heads back towards where the princess is.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not gonna fight this guy in front of an entire wharf of people.
Yeah, when you turn around, by the time you actually turn around to leave, you notice that there's a few people on the wharf that have stopped what they were doing and kind of see this guy talking to you over there, I would say. So they definitely, you have their interest. And as you're leaving, the guy basically like speed walks back to the wharf.
So Arthur drops his minor illusion, because there was no reason to ever do that, apparently. So he just looks like himself again, and he kind of heads back towards the princess, and he's not really going to do anything else. That's kind of all he's going to do at this point. What time of the day is it?
I would say mid-afternoon.
Okay, so he yeah, what does this spell do? Sorry, I'm reading my spells while I'm thinking of all this stuff.
As so you told me earlier that you kind of went through like some palm trees and trails and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to think that on the way back to the princess, and like I said, we're kind of reverse code DMing this right here, so you tell me if this feels appropriate. I like the idea that maybe Arthur gets a little interrupted on the way back by some people from that dock.
I mean, yeah, if they ran and caught up to him, I guess that makes sense. What how many?
You tell me. They would have taken side trails to get past you and then ahead of you and interrupt your walk back.
I'd imagine a couple of them maybe would have. I'd imagine to be the same guy, probably, who I originally was talking with. Maybe one other guy. You said he kind of sped walk back to the dock area, so he probably would have gotten another guy to kind of come speak with Arthur to figure out what's actually going on here.
Okay, yeah, that seems pretty good, I think. And yeah, so they'll at some point, I think they just kind of jump out in the trail ahead of you right before you get back to the beach, and you see the first guy and then his friend with him, and they just kind of stop in front of you, posturing a little bit, and say, we need to know who you are, friend.
Yeah, I suppose the cat's out of the bag, isn't it?
And
Arthur kind of like reaches into a bag and pretends to pull out something, but there's nothing there. And
when you reach into your bag, they kind of take a quick step and put their hands on their daggers for a second.
Have you guys never met a tiefling?
No, sir. We've never met really anyone on this island, and most people leave us the hell alone. So we're wondering what you were doing sneaking around our work area, and why the hell you were trying to get in there asking questions.
Just hold on a minute. You're giving me a headache with all of those inaccuracies. Number one, I wasn't sneaking. I'm pretty sure I went right up to your friend here and said, "How do you do?" Number two, with how lovely dressed you folks are, do you think I would have approached you if it wasn't out of some sort of need I do apologize for my disguise from earlier. I have the ability, and he kind of like snaps his finger, and he turns himself into the human-looking thing again. The human again. He snaps his fingers, turns back into a tiefling. He goes, I have some abilities, and I like to use them to make people feel more comfortable. But my name is Arthur. It's nice to meet y'all. And he kind of like approaches. Oh, then he stops, and he goes, oh, at 5, you should know, tieflings generally don't use weapons. We do things with, well, fire and magic, and we eat children sometimes, and that's a rumor. But nonetheless, that's the rumors I've heard.
These
and he
guys
starts approaching to shake their hand.
They look a little more confusing, so I would assume you'd probably want to give a persuasion check on that.
That would make sense. I rolled a 15. Yeah, and he kind of like starts humming a tune as he attempts to persuade these folks. Do you want to roll against, or should I roll that too?
I can roll against, yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna use basic rule here. They fail. They're I guess incredibly confused. Maybe this other guy has been smoking as well. Who knows? But they relax as you move forward, and they reach for your hand, and they shake your hand, like dumbfounded look in their eyes, and they say, okay, well, sorry, we transport valuable cargo, so I just really we're kind of careful with people. We don't want any brigands or bandits taking our stuff, so apologies.
That's Arthur. He's standing just like that with his hands on his hips. Yeah. And he's just kind of standing there, and he's like, oh no, the apologies, they're all mine, really, truly. I suppose I should have, well, being what I am, and he kind of like points at the glowing crown and then the horns and everything. He's like, I have a tendency to lie. It's kind of in my nature, as most people don't like what we are, but nonetheless, all I require is a ship and path to, well, not here. May I have one of your ships?
The guys kind of look at each other and they go, "Why don't you just come back?"
I don't require the cargo.
No, that's fair. Why don't you come back? You can talk to our boss. We might have a ship going out tonight, but it's really up to him.
Oh no, I wish to procure one of your ships. One of the smaller ones.
We just have those 2 big ones in port right now, and they're probably a lot more than you can afford, friend. I'm not making assumptions, but
Arthur just
stares. Social status?
Yeah, Arthur just stares at him. Doesn't say a word. He just kind of stares at him, and kind of like puts the crown closer to his head, the other guy's head.
My eyes are down here.
But then Arthur just kind of like, all right, well, I think maybe we'll have to. Yeah, okay. So Arthur kind of turns around and starts walking towards the wharf, and while he's walking, he's kind of like snapping his fingers and turning himself into random things. Or like making it look like he's random things with his minor illusions. So like he's like a snake walking around, then he's like a person, and then he's a tiefling again, and then he looks exactly like one of the other guys, and he's just kind of like just doing this to mess with them.
Yeah. All right. I think that would be a good time to cut back to the group if you're okay with that.
Yeah. I like that.
We're back up on the RMSS Catatonic. You're all standing on the balcony of, well, I guess you guys are still a little bit spread a little bit. Bjorn, you're down on the main deck with an older lady. You've got a pretty messed up leg with some teeth sticking in it. I'm pretty sure you healed yourself. Is that correct?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
I
Okay.
I offered to heal Tarbok first, and he said he was okay. So
Right.
now I'm gonna heal myself.
Okay. Everyone else is basically up on that balcony area. Tim, you're in the royal suite still, and then Tarvok and Vera, you are on the balcony hanging out with Merrick, and you've got Captain Exo up top looking out down the window, making sure everything's okay at this point. Exo just sticks his head out the window again and just goes, "All right, we're taking her down here as soon as we can. You all right, all of you?"
Just fine.
Thumbs up. The princess is not on the ship.
I beg your pardon?
The princess is not on the ship.
I was afraid that that's what you'd said. Where is she?
Off the ship.
Not on the ship.
That's right.
This is not good.
Okay, I think I may understand your confusion. She's not dead.
That's a relief.
But during the fight, Arthur decided that jumping off the ship with child was the best way to keep her safe. And I 100% support his decision.
Sounded a little hesitant there.
I don't support his decision.
Because it didn't
But-
sound very.
Fear's like, yeah, it's good. It's good.
Awesome.
She was just like looking over the I'm like Veer is definitely looking at this point for a way to see behind us, I guess. So like I'm gonna go up somewhere else where there's like a balcony. Like
You could go to the aft of the ship where that outdoor dining area is, right above the props, I suppose.
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
just kind of wait. So Tarvok and Tim are near me.
Yep.
Just like
Bjorn's on the main deck.
Yeah, I'm going to go and try and make sure we're going to the right island, or wherever. He might have landed in the middle of the ocean.
we have a coin.
I don't know if that'll reach. We can try for certain.
If I yell loud enough through the coin, maybe it'll work.
I don't think that's how it works. Like, no, I guess at this point, I'm walking and talking in the coin. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and ding.
Arthur?
Ding him. Ding, ding, ding.
Gonna send him an emoji. All right. Arthur, I think your coin in your pocket while you're walking like a little snake. You hear a little slight crackle and kind of a few people's voices here and there, but it's very broken up. You're quite far away.
Okay. Arthur hears this noise, kind of ignores it, hears it again. He turns to the two guys and he's like, "Are you guys walking on broken glass?" And he kind of looks on the ground, like what's making that crunching sound and like that crackling noise, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot I had this." And he reaches in his pocket and he pulls out the coin and he's just like,
Okay, I'm
Okay.
like, Arthur! Okay?
Arthur just goes, "Yes."
Do I hear that?
I think
Can I hear a
All
yeah?
Arthur,
you
I
hear
mean,
a
all he
yeet?
heard was K. All Arthur heard was like K, so he's just like, "Yes."
Everyone, Arthur is okay.
All right, the two guys, I'm going to jump back down to the island. The two guys you're walking with look at you again and go, "The hell is that?"
Oh, that's my talking coin. And he puts it back in his pocket.
Who are you talking to with it?
Real.
Arthur pulls the coin back out. He's kind of like looks at it. He's just like, well, I see a coin.
One guy leans over to the other and they kind of mumble to each other and they go, "You are a fucking spy, aren't you?"
Arthur looks down at himself and he looks back up and he's like, well, not a very good one if I am, huh?
I'd say. And they both reach out and grab your arms to drag you to the camp.
Alright, Arthur casts Tiny Hut.
Tiny Hut. Can you go ahead and explain that for me?
Oh my god!
Yeah, Arthur turns into a fucking house. He's playing Fortnite.
Welcome to my home. I am your butler. You are here forever.
Okay, let's.
No,
a 10-foot radius immobile dome of force springs into existence around and above you and remains stationary for the duration, which is 8 hours. The spell ends if you leave this area. Wow. 9 creatures of medium size or smaller can fit inside. The spell fails if its area includes a larger creature or more than 9. Creatures and objects within the dome when you cast this spell can move through it freely. All other creatures are barred from passing through it. Spells and other magical effects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it. Okay. The atmosphere inside is comfortable and dry.
Does it just like spring them out?
You would have to cast it away from them.
Mm-hmm. So
it's only 10
they,
feet.
yeah. So, but they have,
For it.
they're with him. So they basically, those two guys have the freedom to move through it, but pretty much everything else doesn't.
Well, once they leave it, then they
Okay.
will no longer be allowed back in.
Sure. Okay.
Because then it's
I'm alright
just
with that.
Arthur inside the dome. So from the outside color, because it says you pick the color that it looks like from the outside, it's like this vivid pink,
Okay.
neon pink.
Beauty.
And on the inside, so they grab onto his arm, and he just snaps his fingers again. Only this time, instead of him changing, he remains a tiefling, and then just like this dome appears around everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just kind of like resting inside this dome. And he looks over at him, and he just goes, "Your move." And he's just kind of like holding his coin.
I need Arthur adventures now of him just fucking with people.
All right, these guys.
I'm gonna get stabbed.
They do draw their daggers. I'm literally just rolling for chance here, just to decide on what I want to do with this. Okay, a 1 is as good as I can make it, I guess. They draw their daggers, but they, like, in shock, stumble backwards out of this dome. And they're standing there, and then one of them steals himself, and, like, shakes his head. It was the one that wasn't smoking earlier. And he just, like, tries launching forward at you to attack you, and then you just see his face smear up against this dome as he just crumples down to the ground and shakes his head again. He goes,
Arthur,
don't try and go through it, bud.
Arthur just goes, "Can we talk now?" And like you see just his lips poke through like the side of the dome. "Can we talk now?" And then he kind of like goes back inside.
All right. I think that's another. Yeah, I think that's a perfect cut point to go back now. Bjorn, you have heard a couple of words, rough words from Arthur, just indicating that at least he's still alive.
Arthur kept all the coin like active that whole time, so like I'm sure Bjorn would have heard like whatever this ruckus was, this noise, but then it would have cut off as soon as the tiny hut appeared, because nothing can go through it. I'm pretty sure think the coin cannot then.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna look at the coin. I'm gonna think. I'm gonna be like, all right. I'm gonna point the coin for everyone else. I think Arthur's okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm also
still walking
with the coin, so I hear it
You
separately.
hear it?
But
Yeah.
Bjorn's not gonna know that. He was just talking to Arthur, so he's like, "It is fine, everyone."
All right, yeah, Vera, you're heading back to the aft outdoor eating patio of the main deck there. Then, when you look over the edge back to the direction that they had fallen, you can see very faintly, like you see the white caps and stuff, like before, like it was just ocean at the front of the ship, but now behind you, you do see that cluster of islands. There's probably about between 7 to 10 islands just kind of speckled down towards the coast, and you can see the coast and the mouth of the river Chianthar. So you can tell, like, it's probably the likeliest place they would have landed. There's really nothing else except stuff that's super far away, bigger islands that are super far away that they couldn't possibly have angled towards. So
okay, I will take note of it.
Okay.
I probably have a piece of paper in my bag. I'll like scribble a little map of what I see or something.
Okay. Sounds good. I feel like, yeah, Vera definitely has enough stuff to take notes, being the studious person she is.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Tim and Tarvok, you guys are up at the Royal Suite still. What y'all doing?
Tarvok's taking a breather. It's been a very rough day. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
No, go.
In the, after the events of everything that happened and Tim's unfortunate collision with some railing, he is sitting down at the princess's tea table, the same place where he popped into existence. He's got his hat off and he's staring at his cane, shaking his head.
Right. Tim, you your stone, I mean, not many of us know this, but you're feeling the value of that stone quite heavily on you. It's got some sentimental value to you, as well as some, of course, important value, being it's how you cast for the most part.
But upon Tim's inspection of it, all he sees is that it's cracked. There's nothing missing. There's no shatters. It's just
it's
just
a
has
crack
a nice little
that
crack
seems
through
to
it.
run through about half of the stone, basically, leaving a strange, almost mirrored image on the inside. Can you describe this stone to us, by the way? We've never really heard too much about it.
Ruthie had her hand up.
Oh, what's up?
Is this too bad for me to mend it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's done.
Okay. I was gonna offer to mend. Not that I know. Just a question. Go on. Still gonna try that.
Anyway, so it's actually a very deep blue, almost a sapphire, but not that deep.
Okay.
Kind of like I'm not. Well, I can't exactly see the lights that are around me, but
I think
there's a blue
like
around
like a royal blue kind of thing.
ish,
Okay.
slightly lighter.
Okay.
And as Tim looks at this, he looks up, like, just with the most severe amount of depression that you could see in Tim, as
So a straight face.
as non-responsive as he is to most things. He's just like
slightly frowning.
like
Okay.
just a look of despair. And he goes to speak to Tarvok, and all that happens is he hiccups and pink bubbles comes out of his mouth. He's like,
That was a perfect sound for it too, actually.
That was really good.
I love that. That was great. Okay. I think
I don't know if Tarvok noticed it, but that Tim's like, and he's just
No, Tarvok is sitting outside with his back against the rail, just trying to stay awake. It's been a very tough day for him, so unfortunately he doesn't notice your awkward Pepto-Bismol burp.
right on. As you don't really get much, I guess, sympathy from Tarvok, you look back down at your cracked stone, and you kind of you just sit there in your sadness for a moment. But you notice something else about your cane. The ring around the piece that holds the stone has a small thumb catch to it.
Upon inspecting this, I'm sure Tim would fiddle with it and see what the heck it was.
Mm-hmm. You spin it counterclockwise, and you hear a small click. And when you go to pull on your stone, a small, thin, rapier-like blade shows itself from inside this cane. It seems Bevington has given you a little extra piece of hardware with this cane.
Happy pink bubbles.
Cool. So I think what those pink bubbles are, it's basically because your focus has been damaged. Is that what caused that?
Well, within Wild Magic Surge, that is a 49 to 50 roll.
Okay. Oh, look at that.
Well, look at that.
Well, look at that. It
Well,
seems
look at
that Tim's got something to fuck with him now.
Not just me.
Yeah. All right.
Great.
Yeah, my favorite one's going to be the third tier fireball that hits me.
Here's hoping that doesn't happen. All right, so you guys, you're all taking your breathers. Eventually, Merrick comes back in from the balcony. He is covered in slime and saliva from this Hydra that was just destroyed. And he's got these jagged gashes around his collarbone. And hold on a second here. What was his
Did I
wife's
touch
name?
him?
I have it written down. He goes, where's my Diora? Where's Catalina?
I'm not near him.
You're not. Tim is
I'm
though.
on the. Yeah. I was about ready to say something. I was like, wait, no.
Tim kind of looks over at him.
More pink bubbles. Are you okay? And then at that moment as well, Captain Exo comes into the room and, what the hell was that thing? All right. And as people start filing into the room, you see a few guards rush in, and then Lieutenant Tuchable comes in as well, and everyone's just kind of hustling and bustling about inside the royal quarters, and everyone's got one question on their minds: where the hell is the princess? I think the pink bubbles have now subsided. I think it lasts for about a minute, it says. So, yeah. Everyone's wondering, where the hell is the princess? What the hell was that thing?
Well, good. Now I can speak again. Oh, life's gonna be great. Arthur took her and jumped.
Everyone just, like, stands there in shock with that. They don't even respond until all of a sudden you hear Lieutenant Tuchable go, jumped?
Yes. I'm sorry, did I stutter?
No.
Yeah, good. I didn't think so. Yes,
so
he jumped.
Where would they have gone? Vera,
Well,
are you heading back
off
yet?
the ship?
I mean, yeah, after a few minutes of drawing or whatever.
Okay. All right. So we'll say that you're back at the royal suite as well at this point, and well, so they're in the ocean right now.
I don't necessarily think they'd be in the ocean. I mean, I can cast the same spell that Arthur can, and he can control himself pretty well in the descent.
Interesting. And Exo jumps in and goes, I've already told my navigator to take us down to the ocean, at least to get close and scan the waters for them. I should have 2 navigators, and I'm starting to feel this strange headache. Tuchable, I did give you enough men.
yes, about that.
Tim's gonna run off and go. Or I don't remember if I gave that list to anybody. I don't remember. I don't think I did.
Now you guys still have that list of. It's written on that pamphlet that.
Yeah, the manifesto.
Yes.
Captain. Here.
And Tim's gonna hand him the paper.
He goes. The captain looks through it and he goes, "These are our numbers and the allotments. Yes, I. And he says, "Can I have that other list I gave you of certain people? Do you remember the one? No?
I mean, we hand it over.
Sure.
We don't.
Why not?
He looks at the one that he wrote you, and it's basically identical to the one that is on the sheet, and he goes, I now know that I remember walking with my navigator on the main deck and him just being torn away off the edge. Is he gone now?"
Probably.
Yeah, he's dead. Do you have insurance?
At this
Well,
time,
good
Bjorn
thing
has
we're a rep for
reappeared.
Geico.
Not sponsored.
So I assume, Bjorn, you're now back into the royal suite as well?
I probably limped my way there
Okay.
with Fiora behind me.
Okay. Diora is quite injured as well, but she's able to make her way with you. And
We're like hobbling together.
yeah. Just supporting each other. And as you guys come into the room, Merrick rushes over and grabs her and sets her down on the edge of the bed and starts consoling her off in the corner. Well, I suppose all we can really do is try and find the princess and your tiefling friend. I'll continue to take us down.
We did have a way to communicate with him, and he is doing fine. Might want to look at like islands, or maybe in the middle of the ocean. Maybe he can swim.
I took a short sketch of where it seemed like they would have gone to the nearest island anyway. And I've sketched out like the Sword Coast a little bit, and tried to put some landmarks in, and then my idea is to match it with known logs,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
maps that are probably in the what was that, the like navigation area or whatever.
Right. Okay. The captain takes note of what you've drawn there, and yes, I have seen these islands on our last journey, and that does seem logical. We're pretty close. All right. Here's the plan. I'll take us down. I'll have my men scanning the waters as we go across, but we need to get to these islands and kind of see what we can find, I suppose. Maybe there will be somebody there to help.
Sure. I'm gonna go to Tarbak. I'm gonna give him cure wounds, even though he said he can do it. I'm going to do it anyway. Which is 1d8.
So, just before you put your magic hands on me, I'm already, good. I've touched myself. I mean, I'm fine. I just,
Are you sure you don't need me to touch you?
For the time being, Bjorn, no, I don't need you to touch me. My
I'm
hands
gonna
work wonders.
I'm gonna rip a tooth out of my leg.
I just need the nap.
I'm
tired.
I'm gonna rip the tooth out of my a tooth out of my leg. I'm gonna hand it to him.
Ha. Thanks.
Ow.
I did want a souvenir, so this is great. But while we're all together, except for Arthur, of course, maybe we should, I don't know, yell at the staff here. There's no way they didn't hear fighting. No one came to give us a hand against that bloody thing.
They did not do a good job.
I mean, can't argue with it.
He's not wrong.
All right.
Captain walks in at the end of the fight. What's going on here?
The captain kind of hangs his head for a second and goes, for all of you, yes, for all of you in this room, I am sorry for what has happened. And I will prepare a statement for the rest of the passengers. Of course, I'm sure some of them have suffered from this thing.
I'm gonna say everyone, more or less.
So, just since we're on the topic, and we've noticed all the other fun things you've got stored down in the aft of the ship, did you know that thing was on here?
I'm gonna give him a stern look.
No. I didn't know. I had a suspicion that something was going to be wrong with the creatures. I didn't think it was that.
Do
creature.
harpies give birth to hydras?
No, Bjorn, harpies don't give birth to hydras. But if you had a sinking suspicion that all these bloody fucking things down there were gonna do something crazy, why did you even have them on the ship to begin with? Keep in mind, we've got a very quiet, I guess, slime-mancer. I don't exactly know what Vera is, but I'm pretty sure she could suffocate your lion ass with one of those slimes. Do you have any idea on how much trouble you put us through?
Vera's gonna like
vacation.
Pick up Base, who's like kind of big.
I'm gonna
and
step
then-
aside to like be like, I reveal our secret weapon, the tiny elf.
And then I've got like slime, and I'm holding a slime.
I want art of that. Trying to look intimidating.
So if anyone else is good at art, please feel free to draw that scene for us. That would be
Please.
wonderful.
It's not very intimidating, but look at the slime. I mean, I need a drink.
The captain takes in this weird scene of intimidation that's happening and just... That won't be necessary. I promise I did not know this thing even existed. I don't know how it got onto the ship. I imagine it just did so of its own accord. There is a hole down in the cargo in the bottom of the ship, so I imagine it burrowed its way in that way, but... Again, my sincerest apologies.
Well, you did hire us to stop terrorists. I guess a Hydra would be considered a terrorist.
I don't think anything that feeds on your mind. You know what? Never mind. You're probably right.
It's terrifying, right?
Well,
Yeah.
there were those two men who I couldn't remember why they were here.
Yeah, but wait.
What do they know?
Where are they now?
Probably eaten.
Good.
They might be.
Huh. I guess we should
Maybe
look.
it was them who put it on the ship in the first place.
But they were having the same problems as the rest of us.
Maybe they had an inhibitor and it fucking broke.
That's
And
a
then
big
they-
word for you to know, Bjorn.
My big words. I have very small big words. Small
very
amount.
small
As
selection.
you're all discussing the location of those two terrorist dudes,
Well, they can't kill the princess because princesses aren't on the ship.
you feel a massive shudder shaking the ship.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel good.
Are we gonna have to feather fall?
And
Ding.
you all feel
like a
yeah, basically it's like a Star Trek. It's basically
Star Trek shuffle.
yep.
Yeah. All right, everybody together now.
I love Tim's like.
Yeah. This is my jam. So you all feel this massive shudder. Like, there were the shudders before that you just chalked up to being the engine kind of having its hiccups. Tim. But
No more pink bubbles. Take it easy.
yeah, pink bubbles start pouring out of the ship now. And you feel it starts to kind of list backwards a bit. Like the aft of the ship is starting to dip, and the room starts to tilt. At the very same time,
Please tell me we're landing.
you're all kind of grabbing onto stuff, and then you hear Diora scream, "Merrick!" And behind Merrick is a Lieutenant Jesus Tuchable grabbing him around the chest with his dagger.
Fucking knew it.
And he's
It
got
was so suspicious.
he's got his dagger next to him. And he turns to all of you, and a couple of his guards have also kind of stepped back and restrained Diora. There's, in total of the room, there's 4 guards in there. 2 of them are holding Diora, and the other 2 are standing there not knowing what the hell is going on. And Tuchable says, "I think that it's time that we made our leave."
Can I shoot guiding bolt at him?
In a moment, let me monologue.
No
I don't want to
monologuing.
hear it. I don't want to hear it. I can raise Makovich from the grave, so it's fine.
Makovich.
So as long as
John Malkovich?
Yeah.
I care about him enough to raise him from the grave, but I don't give a fuck to learn his name. Anyways, so Tuchable says, "I suggest you let us depart. We're just going to go to the life rafts. But
I'm guiding bolt him. I wasn't
Sure.
joking.
I believe you.
Sweet.
He
16 plus 6.
is that to hit?
22 to hit.
Jesus, Murphy. Where is he at? Yeah, no, that. I mean, I don't know why I question that hitting. That hits.
I was about to say, if he has more AC than me, I am so concerned.
Before we continue,
Yes.
I'm obviously paying attention to Bjorn since he's standing right next to me. I'm taking a
Right.
reaction to attack and pot shot the other 2 guards that are helping Tuchable.
Shit. Okay.
Because fuck those guys.
I mean,
He was suspicious, I knew it. He hurt our hobo.
The first one is 13 plus 7.
Mm-hmm.
The second attack is 14 plus 7.
Okay. Those hit. At this point, I am going to jump and say we should probably roll initiative. We probably should have done it beforehand.
We're gonna kill him first. It's okay.
Well, he was monologuing.
I was
really
fucking
That's
logging.
what you get for monologuing.
Fair.
No
Serves
kidding,
me
right?
right.
Don't you dare monologue at me.
Ooh, 18 plus 2.
Bjorn's like, I don't care about your words.
They're too big for me.
Talk to these guided bolts, bitch.
15 plus 3 for my initiative, so 18.
All
Roll
right.
the 16? Because yes, Arthur will have a turn.
Hey, I gave you a turn last time you weren't present, so
Arthur,
Oh, yeah.
multiple
Arthur
times.
just, like, Arthur just kind of like looks up like,
I sense danger.
I should punch something.
Something is wrong. And he changes the color of the tiny hut. And he's like, better.
Oh man.
I got a 19.
All right. Let me
Okay,
just do the other
Roll
guys
my
here.
damage.
Give me a second here. I want to get the initiative too because everyone just rolled it, and we're kind of doing this in a very big flip-flop order right now. Who got a 15 again?
I got an 18. 15
That
plus
was me.
3.
I got a 15.
Oh right, okay. Damn it, Arthur! All right, and then who got a 16? 19?
Arthur got the 16.
I Wait, no, did I say 15 or
I've
16?
got a 14.
14.
I
Okay.
don't know.
Tim?
I don't know these numbers. I know my own number.
Okay, I
Tim?
meant 15 if I said 16, so my bad.
Okay. Tim?
Or
20.
Ooh, shit.
Not net.
That's fine. Not like it would do anything anyways.
Why not?
Because I said so.
Yeah, fair enough.
Alright.
DM put his foot down.
So
it's
here's
just the highest initiative.
here is the order. Tim, Bjorn, Lieutenant,
Ooh.
Guard 1, Guard 2. Oh, sorry. No. Lieutenant, Vera.
Erasing furiously.
Yeah, I was reading it wrong. No. Lieutenant Tarvok Vera. Jesus, I gotta actually read the whole thing before I actually try and put it in order.
Lieutenant Tarvok!
Lieutenant Tarvok Vera.
Give it
Got a
time.
promotion.
You should get like a little ruler thing that you can put all of our names on.
I should, yeah.
And then you just hang
And
things
just move
from
it.
that.
No, right?
They just
I agree.
get an abacus.
I used to have one of those with it, like with my DM screen. Like,
Yeah.
everybody just has like a little tab, and you just put it.
Okay. And then
I'm so
sorry.
stressed.
And then guard 1, guard 2. Sorry. Okay. So Tim, Bjorn, Lieutenant Tarvok Vera, guard 1, guard 2. All right.
I'm
Bjorn,
also stressed.
you started the fight. They didn't seem to want to fight, but you attacked, so you started it.
So I
What
get
was-
46 for my guiding bolt.
Okay.
I rolled 3 6s and a 1.
Pretty good. And the
Nice.
next attack.
Well, two
It's
child
advantage.
gonna be.
Lord Tundran. All right.
Right in the face.
Right in the feast. So that was 19 total.
Mm-hmm.
Holy poo balls. Okay, and then Tarvok, you
Also, the next attack against that guy, the bad guy,
Mhm.
has advantage.
Gets advantage.
Right. All
Just
right.
so you know.
And then so Tarvok, you also kind of jumped in on that surprise attack there. What was your you hit both of these guys, right?
I haven't rolled for damage yet, though.
Okay, go ahead and roll for damage.
I was waiting since you said roll for initiative.
Yeah.
I
So
rolled
it's,
for damage first.
Mine is
Priorities.
1d8 plus 3. And Colossus Slayer isn't going to kick in.
Darn it.
Nope.
Just
Dang it.
because it's 2 separate enemies at full health.
Right.
Yeah.
So first one is a whopping 6, so 3 plus 3.
Yay.
The
Okay.
second one is an 8 plus 3, so 11.
Nice.
Nice.
You.
All right. So, here's the scene. I'll jump back into initiative afterwards. You guys launch your projectiles at these folks. Your arrows. Yeah, what's your question?
Wait, hold on. Never mind. Explain it, and then I'll ask it if you don't reach it. Sorry.
Okay.
Brain's not working. Go away. Go.
Okay. Tarvok, your arrows strike these guys right in the sides of their armor, doing some damage to them. They kind of oof and let go of Diora as they take these arrows and go to draw their rapiers. Tuchable takes this guiding bolt basically right in the face, and it singes the shit because this is a light attack, right? Isn't it? It's a beam of energy.
Radiant damage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it like singes his face, and it looks like he's got a very severe sunburn all of a sudden,
Good.
like right on the snoot and then off to the
I
side.
hope that it doesn't. Aloe vera doesn't work on it.
Aloe Vera.
Ah.
Can you have another slime and name it Aloe, please? It'll have healing
Healing
powers.
I don't. Wizards don't usually heal though. So.
Hear
But
me
you
out.
could.
What if they did?
You're
That's
right.
a valid argument.
I can't argue with that logic.
Oh, that's great. All right. And he takes it right in the face, and he's got his dagger out still, and he looks at Merrick, winces a little bit, grimaces, and goes, "I think it's time we got the fuck out of here. And he moves towards the doors to the ballroom and starts opening it with his foot, like pushing it backwards with Merrick right in front of him.
He can't move. It's not his turn.
Well, that's the direction he starts to move towards.
Wait, towards
Tim.
the ballroom. Isn't he on the fucking balcony?
No, you guys were in the royal suite.
Okay, so everybody's inside and they're kind of like headed toward the exit further into the boat.
Yeah,
the
basically.
ballroom.
That's the side of the room he was on. Yeah. So let me set up the side of the room here.
Does Tim have tiny hut too?
That would be hilarious.
I almost took it.
Dang it! It would have been funny to just do it so we could beat him up.
That'd be cool to have your slime turn into the hut.
Step in the Thunderdome.
Yeah, that's what I was
Like bubble out kind of thing.
Okay, sorry.
So let's I guess get the placement in the room here. So you guys are basically clustered in the middle of the room. You have Captain EXO next to you four. Sorry. On the let me pull open my map here. On the port side of the room, kind of towards the aft, is where Tuchable was with Merrick in his arm. And he had his two cronies close by, of course, because they grabbed onto the wife in the bed in that corner of the room. So you are all basically smack dab in the center of the royal suite, whereas the rest of them are more towards the aft port side of that room, heading towards the ballroom. That's kind of the way they're going. The other two guards that have no idea what the fuck is going on are more towards the starboard aft side of the room.
Is the captain in here with us?
Captain is right next to you guys.
Okay. Did you say that and I just spaced?
I did, yes.
I'm sorry.
Miss NASA shirt, NASA hat.
Ha! Spaced out, lol. Okay.
Alright.
Incidentally, not sponsored by NASA, although we could be.
Oh, fuck. That
Look
and
at all
We
the-
don't have
SpaceX.
any money.
We're going straight to space.
Elon Musk sponsor us.
Yes, that would be amazing.
I did buy
We'll
a
be the-
flamethrower. I didn't. I wanted to, though.
The first
Justin
big
bought
man
a
on
space.
Mars.
Justin bought a SpaceX hat, so we're basically. I need to go wear it right now.
Yeah, that works.
You're investors.
You can fight space.
And hats.
Yes.
Space Force.
I'm gonna
We'll
punch
beat
the
space.
atmosphere.
Yes.
All right, maybe this is a good time to take a break, actually. Before we start in the actual initiative, let's take a break here. Let's go refill our waters, and we will see you guys in a short while. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, we're doing voices? Wow!
Thanks again for sticking around with the Ret-Con-Artists. Don't forget you can check us out on Twitter at Ret-Con-Artists TV. We're going to jump right back into the episode. Take care.
Oh boy, we're back. Thank you for hanging in there during the break, you guys. We went and refilled our waters and our snacks and our toilets, and we're doing good. So,
I did not refill my toilet.
some people did.
I forgot to do that.
Oh, do you want a minute or?
Oh no, I'm good. I got peanuts.
Oh, okay, good. That doesn't make any sense, but okay.
I got pencil.
I'm proud of you.
Made sense to me. I have peanuts. I'm good.
Okay, cool. Again, we want to thank you guys for sticking in there with us. We know that sometimes we end up having real life take hold and we have to skip a week sometimes. We try our utmost to be here the following Wednesday, but we understand that life happens and we have to plan accordingly. And we're not going to keep stringing people along in terms of, oh, we'll do the next day and the next day and the next day. So I guess the plan is here from now forward, if we're going to have to skip more than one day in terms of like past the Wednesday, then we should probably just wait for the next week. I think is a pretty reasonable thing. But again, we try and fill our time with fun stuff. Our team stream that we did last week was a shit ton of fun. We played Magica too.
So
And
good.
we at least had 4 of us here hanging out with the rest of you guys, and it was a really good time. So we will always do our utmost to be here with you, if not in whole, at least in part. So we thank you guys for sticking around for that. Also, if you are fresh to the stream, you can always swing by the Discord, hang out with us, talk with us. We share stupid memes and stupid jokes and fun stories.
Give us your me.
Give us all those memes. And
You know what I mean.
oh my goodness, that's actually a drinking game.
It is.
Yeah, it is. We do need to pick it up, although I'm pretty sure that we have some people in our drinking group who would school us.
Yes, we do. At this moment in time, I also want to thank, last time I forgot to mention this, Nick Gers55, thanks so much for the follow. If you're here, Ghost Slayer 68, thank you so much for the follow. Max and Shark, thank you for the hosts. We really appreciate all that. So, Max, I don't appreciate you all that much, but you know what I mean.
Boom.
Understood.
Anyhow, so yeah, like I said, come into the Discord, hang out with us, do stuff with us, play games. We do all sorts of stuff. With that, let's get back to the episode. Unless anybody else has anything you want to plug, add.
I got salt in my eye.
Oh. At least you didn't get peanuts in your eye.
It's because you've got all the peanuts in your face.
I don't know.
All right.
I'm gonna do my traditional Wednesday plug for just about everybody. Everybody streams except for me. I'm still super interested in what Josh is doing. I'm pointing down. I don't actually know where he is right now. He's doing this really fun like mecha campaign.
Yeah, which I am ready to do. I just am trying to get a day, and unfortunately my weekends have not been very good recently, so
Again, life. So once he gets that going, it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you're hosting it, so I can at least, I don't know, I'll probably do what I normally do and scare the shit out of Ken and watch.
Yeah.
yeah.
Drunk streaming with Goat and Straxus is still a thing. I don't know if we're doing it this weekend. I know next weekend is a long weekend.
Maybe next weekend. We'll see.
Oh, it is a holiday, isn't it?
It is.
Is it? What's the holiday?
What
I
else?
can't wait.
Huh?
I think that's a Canada thing, right?
No, we have a holiday coming up too.
Yeah, Memorial Day.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like our Victoria Day.
Another holiday I don't care about.
What are we
But I
what are we
get a day
allowed
off,
to-
so it's important.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything. Max is always stream. Well, he's not streaming as much now. He's got actual life stuff going on, so that's always exciting.
Slowly getting back into it.
I've been streaming again.
Oh, there you go.
ramping it
So
up.
Josh is streaming, which is always fun.
Didn't Alex
Ruthie's-
start streaming?
Not
Did he?
quite.
Yeah, Alex.
When you drop in
Drop
that
like
first
Max.
stream, bro, I think you told me in a DM earlier that you're gonna do your first stream
I didn't
soon.
say shit, but
I'm holding you to that, you son of a bitch. Where was
Obviously, I mean, we have people who know that Ruthie streams, so watch
Yeah.
Ruthie stream and stuff. And again, I don't really do it, but later on this year, you can find me doing it too. Mostly Monster Hunter Iceborne when it comes out, though. So
Ooh.
you like Monster Hunter? You
I
can
might
watch
have
this
to re-download. Like I took a break because I was like done. I was like, it's all the same. But that looks real fun.
So
Wait.
good.
You have a PlayStation, don't you, Josh?
No,
Oh, fuck. I thought you did.
just a computer.
Well, I was gonna say, if you have a PlayStation, you could play with us on that.
No.
I have a PlayStation.
But you don't
So-
like playing online with people on PlayStation, so
Nope, I don't.
And that's fair. If you decide on it, though, let me know, and we'll hunt the things.
Okay, I don't know how I have it both on my computer and my PS4. So I don't know how much my PS4 is, like how high my rank is.
I don't
High
care
enough.
about that. I just like having people to play with.
All right.
You
Okay.
beat the game.
Before the wheels completely come off on this hangout conversation, we're gonna get back into it. We appreciate the plugs. Yeah, everyone's back to streaming, and Paul, thank you for mentioning that.
This has been a
Because-
Tarbot transmission.
This is how we do it, you see.
Info-org here. Oh fuck, that's what we should do
Oh.
after our breaks.
I should do info work.
You really should.
Okay, I'll do info work next time.
Okay, it's happening next time, folks. Be here for the next episode. Alex is going to start streaming, and I'm holding him to that. I'm dropping it now,
Look,
saying
I already
next
put up
week.
my first YouTube video.
Yep.
Bite me.
You did.
Hey, yeah, and we're really proud of you. I have to watch it. I
Yep.
was asleep.
It's a lot of fun. So if you haven't
God.
seen it, it's in the Discord. He dropped it in the Tim's Connections. He dropped it in his own channel, of course.
What What a fucking
Self-promotion.
ego on that team.
What if you...
Anyways, I'm taking the wheels off myself again here. Let's get back into it, guys.
Way to go, conductor.
Thank you.
You are now the conductor of the poop train.
That choo choo, motherfucker. All right, so here's the initiative once again. For those of you who don't know, we have Tim, then Bjorn, then Lieutenant Tuchable, then Tarvok, then Vera. All right.
I didn't even roll that low.
Right.
Bringing up the
Well, and then afterwards are Guard 1 and Guard 2. So I don't know why I
They're
stopped.
useless. We
Because they
want
don't
them
have
here.
real names. I didn't give a fuck about them. So.
Well, now it's named Gustavo and Jesus.
Well, Jesus is the lieutenant. Is that like Jesus Jr.
Oh,
then?
No. Call him.
He's also Jesus.
We'll call him Stefan.
Just name him Jesus.
Jesus.
Isn't your Rug's name Stefan?
Oh, he is.
I mean,
Ruthie only has like 5 names.
I really do.
She just names everything. Alright, you will be Stefan, and you will be Gustavo, and you will be Jesus, and you will be Stefan.
She's like the George
Stefan.
Foreman of D&D names.
You're all named George.
let's name him Foreman.
Okay, Foreman. Like
Not
from
like
that
he's-
70s show?
But he's not the foreman.
No,
No, he's not.
he's
That's what his parents wanted him
he's
to
the
be,
safety
but he
officer named
failed.
Foreman. Yeah.
He failed at his job.
And now he's a terrorist.
What an asshole.
What
All right.
What is life?
Baby, don't hurt me.
No,
Don't
no,
hurt
no,
me.
no.
Sorry. All right.
What is...
I know. And I'm sorry. One more thing before we jump into the initiative here. No, it's a quick one. Chat was absolutely right earlier. You are looking very dashing with the hair and the beard lately,
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Ruthie.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. I was talking to you, Josh.
Some dinner. And that's not bad. Can I see
It looks good. It looks good. I'm just saying. I was like, damn, he's got it all fucking pulled back, cleaned up right now.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Mustache.
So just, yeah. Thanks.
You don't have to have an acceptance speech. I'd like to thank God and my mom and all right,
I would like to thank my mother for giving me these great genetics.
these
Yeah.
jeans, these Levi's. All right.
Glad
I
I
would
don't
like
need
to
to pay.
I mean, I am very glad I don't need it to pay.
Yes.
I like my hair.
Yes. Sorry, Mac.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. All right, Tim, you are first in the initiative.
Cool. Tim's gonna cast Levitate on Tuchable.
Oh shit.
What?
Oh god. Oh shit.
smirt?
I'm pinning him to the roof.
Oh my god, this is such a great idea. Why don't we levitate everyone?
Because I can only
Most
do
of
it
the
on
time
one
we're
person.
outside. Bye.
That's why I wanted to be sure that he was underneath a roof. I was
I'm
like,
un-
so he's going
okay.
further into the boat, right?
So he needs to do a Constitution saving throw. What is the DC of that saving throw?
Where do I go to find that?
It should be your spellcasting modifiers all put together.
So my charisma.
Your charisma, proficiency,
your
and
charisma bonus.
plus 8, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
So 18 plus 8.
No. 8 plus charisma bonus plus your
Okay.
proficiency, which should be 3.
So
John,
8 plus
it's
4
too
plus 8.
bright.
Turn down the bright.
It's also automatically calculated above your spell.
Yeah, it should be in that sheet, yeah. Today, our resident sorcerer learns how to do magic. Just-
He's never done it.
If
That's
your
fair.
spellcasting ability is charisma, really is really magic.
That's fair. Okay, hold on a second here.
Was that
So
shot at bards?
15 then?
I talked to a guy.
Yep, 15. 15 is the DC then. Yep, you're accurate. So he needs to succeed against that in his Constitution save. He has plus 2. Okay, he rolled a 5.
Yay!
So, Lieutenant Tuchable.
It's not going to be a gentle levitation either. Tim's like lifting this bitch straight to the ceiling.
So you need to stay concentrated on this spell, by the way, right?
Oh yeah, I'm at the back of the party, so it's fine.
It sounds like something Tim would do. All right, so one creature or object can levitate up to 500 pounds, up to 20 feet, and remain suspended up to 10 minutes.
He's going nowhere.
Do we not want to kill him? Because I kind of want to kill him.
So here's a fun little bit of physics. If he is not being held down by gravity and thus moving along with the ship, the ship will move.
Oh god!
Yeah.
Goes out of 20 feet and just drops.
Because the spell says that he stays in place.
Yeah, and he's not
but
tethered,
I
basically.
specified that I'm slamming him into the ceiling.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So
he's an anchor now.
He has to hold on.
Oh.
Yeah. Otherwise, he's just gonna
the
roll
ship
out,
just
basically.
moves.
Oh no!
I thought I could control it.
You can move him within that 20-foot range. But what Josh is saying is he's not tethered to you. So if you somehow are able to get him outside of that room, he's just gonna stay there.
What Josh is saying is if he's on the ceiling and here's the lip of the room, he's right here, and the boat is moving this way, he's going to slide across the roof
and slam into the wall
and go outside and then drift off into space.
The levitate is tied to the ground, not to the boat. So it's that point on the planet that he's levitating on. So when the ship moves past, he's just gonna float in the. He'll be level with the ship as the ship floats away. He's just gonna sit there in the air. And then once he stops concentrating, the guy's just gonna fall straight to the ground.
Or the ocean.
Bye, Touchable.
Well, this is what happens when you're an asshole.
I mean, right now, if you just tell the ship to change directions a little bit, he'll just go outside, and then that's it. We can just leave him there, and he's nothing he can do. Wow.
And that's if you get him out there. But this is a shit ton of meta on this strategy. But that's okay. It's fun to think.
Physics lesson.
What? No, I'm just fucking.
This is not meta. Meta is taking information and then applying it to gameplay. Theory,
I only said
crafting,
facts.
and physics.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, okay,
Not
the target
meta.
can only be. The target can only move by pushing or pulling against a fixed object.
Yep.
Or surface within reach.
So if Tim suddenly, like, with our new physics knowledge, shoots him out of the room, that's metagaming. But us discussing things is not metagaming.
I have a feeling it's leaning towards the plan now, though.
Oh, I see.
I'm just fine. I don't care. I don't care. It's fine.
I'm pretty sure that's the only action I can take.
That's true.
Yeah, that's all you can do anyway.
And it was a good one. So while we are all in this royal suite, and Tim decides to... Yes.
What happened to Marduk?
I was just about to describe that. Merrick.
Merrick.
I feel like you're just fucking with me at this point, aren't you?
I am.
You're a wiener.
All the M names that I can
Fucking
think
Marduk.
of, and there's
Fucking
not
wiener.
a lot of them.
Next to Gustavo and whatever
Someone
else.
has a weird noise.
And it's scary.
That's me.
Oh,
What the hell is that?
it's Gucci.
I'm tapping the leg of my desk.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh,
Alright, so... As Tim, what's the word that you use to cast your levitate person? Or levitate, I should just say.
I hadn't thought this far.
Can we just say it's Wingardium Leviosa or something like that?
Free. I don't know. I think
It'd be free. All right.
Wait, what happened to murder?
So as Tim says, be free. Lieutenant Tuchable, suddenly his feet lift off first, and he just like, oh god, and he's trying to grab onto Merrick, and then he just like wham to the ceiling, and he's just pinned there, and he's like, god damn it. Next up, it's Bjorn's.
Help you now.
It is Bjorn's turn.
Okay, so Merrick.
The fuck?
Hello, airplane. Okay.
The Hydra is back. No.
Oh, sorry,
Please,
no,
no.
that was a douchebag outside driving down Saskatchewan Drive. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really warm here today. I've got my window open. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Let's see. But I did get derailed because I thought something bad was happening. So Marduk's like in front of me. Oh, Merrick is in front of me.
Marduk's mysteries.
Can we get a tally? Can we just get a count?
We're at like 6 right now.
Please. Was like 4. Okay, he's in front of me and he's fine. There's no like he didn't like get nicked or anything.
He's all right. He's all right. He kind of once T'Challa let go of him, he kind of stumbled back to the bed, and sat back down for a second. So he's okay.
Okay, can I yell at him? I'm not gonna say can I. I'm going to yell at him and tell him to use his amulet mech.
Okay.
Thing.
How many times did I have to yell at him to do that?
Well, I don't know, but like I'm gonna yell at him.
He did it either way.
Oh wait, you did, but he had just been eaten and he was a little disoriented.
So what?
Just been eaten.
He was currently a snack.
And then there's 2 of them that have Arbok arrows.
Yes, in their sides, stuck in their armor.
Sweet, I'm gonna go hit him.
Okay.
With my hammer. 14 plus, oh no, plus something, plus 6. I should know this, you know, but I don't.
That hits.
Okay, that's, oh yeah, 7 to hit. Okay, I'm gonna hit Carbok's arrow into the guy.
Oh.
So it's pierced into him, and I'm just gonna go.
Goddamn.
Fuck, too bad it's not that indestructible arrow he has.
All right, Bob the Builder, can we build it?
Yes, we can.
Fucking can.
All right, so Bjorn the
Bjorn the
human nail gun. you smash this arrow right on the end. That was a nice hit, by the way. So you smash this arrow right on the end. Roll me some damage, please.
Cool, that's a 7 plus 4, so 11.
Okay.
Is there additional piercing damage since Bjorn's smashing an arrow?
I feel like I should get like a D4 piercing.
Yeah, let's do that.
He
Just
takes
a thought.
1d4, 1 damage of into spleen.
I was gonna say have Tarbok roll it because it's his arrow.
Nah, it's fine.
It makes sense.
1 is fine.
Yeah,
1
that's
is
fine.
good.
Okay.
We call this.
So 12 points total.
This is a combo.
Combo. All right.
Combo breaker.
It's not a fatality, but
Oh, our first combo.
I clipped that. All right. So your hammer just slams into the side of him. For a moment, there's an arrow there, and then the next moment, when your hammer kind of bounces off with a oof, you look, and there's just like some feathers sticking out of his ribs, and he's starting to pour a little bit of blood out of his side. And he just kind of backs up from you about 5 feet towards the wall. He's back to the wall now at this point, and
Want to see what a lung looks like when it's an airbag?
the great thing is that arrows make like bigger holes too, so it just gets.
His insides are probably not doing too well right now. Yeah.
Good, motherfucker. I saved that woman. I almost died. She's staying safe.
That sounds like a you problem. No, I'm just kidding.
It really is, though.
All right, next up is Lieutenant T'Challa. Fuck, what is he gonna do? He is in a predicament, 100%. Jesus, let me just look through his abilities
Do you have
here.
any ranged weapons?
I mean, he doesn't look like he does.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a spooky dude. Suspicious. I would love for MC Hobo to come in and start doing background music. Like a background rap.
Can you do some battle music for us, Ken, as Hobo?
Hey guys, I found some extra salami. Oh, sorry. I'm just gonna just backs out again.
Okay, that's good enough for me.
All right. So T'Challa is up on the ceiling. What's up?
Nothing.
Oh.
Not relevant. Carry on.
He smacks his microphone. All right, he pulls out his light crossbow and
What an asshole.
grabs it off of his hip, and it's preloaded, and he's gonna aim at Tarbok.
How
He
dare
has-
he?
Is he still holding the hostage?
No, he lost his grip on him, and he's up on the ceiling now. Light crossbow +5 to hit.
So
He-
does Merrick join the initiative order because I told him to do something?
I'll get to that. Don't
Oh,
worry.
okay. Just let me go ahead.
He rolls a 7. I assume that doesn't hit Tarbok.
It does not, no.
He's very disoriented on the roof. He just kind of like, as he's trying to level his crossbow, he's kind of flopping around, thumping against the roof and looking for a chandelier. What's that?
Said he's a fish out of water on the roof.
Yeah, basically. And he's just kind of flopping around up there, and he eventually like grabs onto one of the pieces of the chandelier up there, and he stabilizes himself after his shot has gone completely wide. That's his turn. He really can't move much other than shoving himself around the room at this point. Next up,
Try to shoot the guy who had to concentrate to keep him up there.
that's true. That is true. Tarvok, you're up.
I'm gonna retaliate against Tuchablé.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what hand is his crossbow in?
Ooh.
His right hand.
Then I'm gonna pierce his right elbow to the ceiling.
Oof. All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's gonna be a little bit tough of a roll. I'm sure you'll probably hit it, but it's gonna have to be pretty accurate to hit the right
13
spot.
plus 7, so 20.
Okay, that'll do it. Yep.
All right. Cool. I'll roll for damage for fun. There it is.
Just for fun.
7 plus 3. He's not damaged right now already, is he? He's taking
No,
no.
he's not. Oh,
He is damaged.
he is
Oh my
damaged.
God,
Yeah,
I
he's got a
blasted
really
his
bad
face.
sunburn. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get Colossus Slayer?
I do have the option of using it, yes, but I have another attack to use yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so
we're
that's
just gonna pin his arm to the thing, and I'm assuming he's gonna drop that crossbow.
You know what? Let me give him a Constitution check on that. But sorry, how much damage did you do? Just so I
10.
don't forget. 10. Okay. All right, he's gonna do a Constitution check on that.
Would it be Constitution or Dex?
He's trying to,
It's like
I guess,
one
resist the
hand.
pain of taking an arrow through the arm, basically.
So he can hold on to it.
Oh.
He does not succeed that. He rolled an 11. He does, like, his arm sticks to the ceiling, and he just lets go of the crossbow after a second of trying to hold on to it, and his hand just starts to, like, hang limp and vibrate there.
I'm sure it really hurts.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna knock another arrow and attack the other guard that does not have massive internal bleeding right now.
Okay, that would be Foreman. Yeah.
All right, so Foreman's gonna take a shot. I'm gonna aim for his left knee.
Ooh, I can't take it out of the knee.
He was an adventurer.
All right.
To the knee. Nat 20.
Ah,
Wow.
He doesn't have a knee anymore.
All right.
Damn.
And I assume you're gonna use Colossus Slayer on this one.
Yes, I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it.
So here's
I'm
what
gonna
I'm
take
gonna
his leg off.
Okay,
So-
guys,
Yeah.
let's take a break because we have to roll like 80 dice.
Yeah.
8 plus 3.
You
My
nat
first
20'd,
roll.
so for this one I want to give you an extra we'll just double the damage, I guess. 'Cause
Okay,
of the
well,
nat
that's 11, so that's 22.
I know, this is not going to
So
be good.
I'll add it up.
And then,
Okay.
Calculator, it's ready. We're good.
and then Colossus Slayer is another D8, which is a 7. So do you want 18 times 2?
36.
Fuck.
Normally you just double the dice, though.
Yeah, that's kind of what
Oh,
I was
well,
thinking
that's the
too.
case. So 8 and 8 is 6. Do we double both die then, Josh?
Yeah.
Or just the first?
Every die that you
Is
roll on
doubled.
the crit is doubled, but then you add the modifiers. on
Okay.
it.
So 33.
I don't know how that works, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna trust you.
Because it's 8 times 2 is 16, 7 times
Plus.
2, which is 14, which is 30, plus 3, which is my damage on my just standard attack.
Right.
So 33.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit.
Is his leg just...
Yeah, Foreman
fuck ton of damage.
That is a
That
fuck
That
ton
leg
of
is
damage.
officially black.
If he's not dead, he's probably really close. to
He's not
bleeding
dead.
out.
He's not dead, but your shot just decimates his kneecap. He is the Skyrim guard that used to be my leg. He used to be the adventurer. He used to be a terrorist like them, but now he's got to like take up tapestry making or
Hopefully
something.
he has good insurance.
His leg is it's completely blown apart at the knee, hanging by a thread, and he's just kind of like he's now like leaning against the wall, just hanging in there. Basically, he's still alive, but he's bleeding pretty profusely right now from the
The
leg.
ligaments are keeping him attached.
'Tis but a flesh wound. All right, good
I
shot.
can still bite your ankles.
Good shot. Vera, you're up next.
Feed the slime a leg. Yum, yum, yum.
Aw.
We are now using our secret weapon, the tiny woman.
I feel like Vera sees all of this
Mm-hmm.
and then
Starts having fucking PTSD
Yeah.
from the fight she got into.
no. Just like she'll like look up to Chable and be like, it seems like you won't have much of a chance pinned to the ceiling like that. I would suggest just surrendering. And she'll turn Eco into a whip and then
Whip him.
wait.
I like how it's probably like a really kind voice while we're over here like hot shot and
Yeah.
arrows to the people.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what I want it to be.
To Chable, through the pain in his arm, I'm just going to give him a response to that real quick because I love my monologuing. He winces through the pain of his arm and says, "It's funny how you think that it's just us three." And with that, another shudder from the ship hits very heavily, and you feel the ship start to list again towards the aft. It starts to dip down, ass down even more.
I mean, y'all are on the ship with us. If y'all die, then mission accomplished. So I think we win no matter what.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Fuck you.
All right, so that's his response there. Next up, it is Gustavo's turn.
The one with the arrow out of his spleen.
That's Foreman.
No, that's Gustavo.
No,
yeah.
Right.
Imagine swallowing a toothpick by accident, but the toothpick is the size of an arrow.
And through your sleeve.
Accidentally.
Oops. A
My bad.
sword swallowing stuff gone bad.
His name is Tarvok.
How'd you know he was an accident?
Don't be talking about the parents that way.
Wonderful. Okay. Gustavo is still kind of near Diora and sort of near that bed there. He looks over at Foreman on the wall there with his leg dangling by tiny bits of flesh. And
Ligaments.
what's that?
Does this bitch think he can get by me?
He's gonna definitely try. He's going
So
to
intimidating.
He's going to lunge towards you
Good.
with his rapier.
Okay.
+5 to hit.
I dare him to hit.
21 total.
Sweet.
That hits.
I told you to dare me. I dared you.
I told you to dare me to dare you. So that would be 1d8
because
3.
I have some reaction somewhere that I want to use.
You better check
Give
quick.
me a second.
That is true.
You better check quick. He
'Cause
does.
Everyone's behind me, right?
Yes. He does 8 total damage to you.
Ah, wimp. I think it's called
I don't think it's called
Wrath of the
In some
Lord.
language, in a different language, it might be.
When a creature within 5 feet of you can see hits me with an attack, I can use my reaction to cause the creature to make a dexterity saving throw. The creature takes 2d8 lightning or thunder on a failed saving throw and half as much on a successful.
Damn.
So, roll your stupid dexterity.
Johan just fucking stands there and
just
Yeah. That's pretty badass, actually. Alright, so roll dex save, you said? 14.
Oh, right. What is my thingy? I don't even know.
See, I'm not the only one.
14?
Your spellcasting is wisdom, correct?
Yeah, it says 14. DC 14 saving throw.
On the spell itself?
No, it's right there.
Oh, okay, cool.
it's
I feel like it
here.
should be.
It's right there.
Oh no, sorry. 3
No,
plus 3 plus 8. Yeah, that's 14. You're right. Okay. Well, he
math.
rolled a 14, so he did save on it. So he takes half damage.
Mm-hmm.
And how much is that?
What did I use?
Were you rolling for damage
Oh yeah,
before?
5 plus 4, 9. Round down.
So he takes
So
5
4.
damage. Yeah.
5? Oh.
5. You round up when you go half.
Oh.
Yeah. All
There
right.
you go, man. Take that.
He pokes his rapier into your chest, and it kind of like it slices you up a little bit, but it like bends on maybe muscle, maybe ribs, maybe armor, probably muscle. It's probably muscle and the spirit of Thor.
Flex.
And
Instead of trying to like dodge or anything, I just
you just lean into it.
I wanted to do that. I was gonna lean into it, and if it was if he didn't do dex saving, I wanted to punch him with not hit him, but like the like lightning come out of the punch.
Instead, she just Arnolded.
And the lightning just goes up his sword and then like shocks him, and he backs up a little bit. And all right, so next is Foreman's turn.
Yeah, that bitch thought he could hit me, but he couldn't.
He's been successfully KFC'd at the leg. What is Foreman gonna do? Oh my goodness. Foreman's actually gonna I think he's gonna try and get out of there. He's a little more lily-livered than the rest of them, I think, and he's gonna hobble his way towards the door there. So he starts making his way towards the ballroom.
Is there anybody next to him that he has to try and disengage from?
No.
Cool.
Nope, he's against the wall near the door there. So he moves to the door, hobbles. I mean, his speed's going to be halved, so let me just check this map here and see roughly where he might be at.
So he makes it 15 foot, right?
Yeah, he's at the door now, and he's about to leave.
Because he can't travel at feet anymore.
Oh my god.
That's the point.
Sorry.
Then the second question would be: is the leg detached now, or is it just kind of?
It's just flapping around.
Behind him.
Yeah. He's gotten the worst.
He definitely cannot move at a normal pace.
No, he's got the worst leg of his journey out of the way, I think.
I guess he's got a foot in the grave.
Oh Lord!
I bet he likes to taste the hops.
Anyhow. All right, so he's at the door. He didn't make it. He didn't make it far enough to get out of the door to make it to his job at IHOP. No, he didn't. But he's there at the door and he's ready to leave. So now it is Tim's turn. You are still holding your concentration.
Yep.
What's up?
They're still holding that concentration.
You can't do anything while you're doing concentration except move, right?
You can do basic stuff.
Yeah.
But if he gets hit by something, he has to roll a Constitution to hold on to his concentration, right?
Hold up.
What's up, Josh?
What's up, Josh?
Just since a round has passed, I was just imagining the ship moving.
He's pinned into the ceiling.
To the ceiling now, though.
With an
He's
arrow.
pinned by his elbow.
But he's still not.
Oh gosh! So the ship's gonna like tear his arm off?
Yeah, he's stuck in place with the levitate still.
Does he? He's gonna have to take damage from
at
that.
least that's what I think.
Fair enough.
I don't.
Oh my god, that's horrifying.
Oof. Okay.
Hey, Jesus, if you're watching this, man, you fucking deserved it.
No. All right. So since a round has passed, I guess we'll describe what happens there. Let me just think about the anatomy of the arm here for a second.
You've got one for example.
Yeah, you do. You can do it.
You can.
So is it like
examine?
When you did it, Tarbok, did you do it in like the crook of the elbow?
Between the ulnar and the radial?
I mean, there's a lot of
the actual name.
Flesh that's not bone.
Yeah.
Here.
So between the ulnar and the radial.
You
And
know
so
the names to these things?
yeah, it was a part of training for work. So he's pinned right there, and then so as the ship is moving, it's kind of spinning a little bit forward, so he kind of is able to like turn himself in place. He's not moving, but he is turning himself, and his arm, he turns to the point where his hand is facing the front of the ship, and he's facing his body is being pulled towards the ballroom, and this arrow just slowly pulls through his arm up to the wrist.
Yes.
And you hear him grunting and screaming. It's like out of Saw. And you hear this like tearing, strange, like almost like paper ripping sound, but worse.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, like crackling and popping as his metatarsals and his wrist bones and everything just start giving way. And then this arrow finally, as it reaches the end of his hand,
arm is in two pieces.
It splits between his ring finger and his middle finger, and his arm literally just falls apart.
Monologuing! That's what you get!
It's pretty fucking brutal.
Tarbok wants to take a reaction. Hope it doesn't have any diseases.
And so Tuchable is now screaming as he has moved towards, and the ship has moved enough where he has moved towards the windows into the doors into the ballroom there, the big old archway doors. And he basically like thumps against the door at the top of the room, and he's just clutching his arm and just like shaking in pain.
Screaming.
He is just like absolutely vibrating in pain. I think he's in so much pain, like he's not even able to scream right now. Anyhow, Tim, it's your turn, buddy.
Oh my god.
I mean,
Is
like,
even Tim kind of like, ugh.
it's just it, right? Like, there's
Things for you are not looking up, friend.
oh, it's so brutal.
I think Tim's just gonna hold this turn and kind of ready himself a firebolt in the event that the other guy actually makes it to open the door.
Okay. So you're just gonna hold your initiative with Firebolt?
Yeah.
You guys
just gonna
gotta
hold it.
survive
Cause-
me and Tarbok.
Because while you're concentrating, you can still cast cantrips, I believe, right?
I'm not sure.
You can cast any instantaneous spell.
Okay, cool.
That isn't.
Yeah, just gonna hold it then.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
Just gonna let Jable suffer.
And bleed out on the ceiling. All
It's
right.
It's raining blood.
From that, I
It
guess that would be
really-
slashing damage, so I need to take his health down a bit from that.
Ugh.
That's just so.
I know. I'm like
Yeah, I
sitting
can
here.
like feel it.
Right?
I
Mhm.
know. Like
It's like when you're watching like a horror film or a suspense film, and someone gets their wrist slit.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Fingers
That
getting
guy's
cut
gonna
off is like
bleed
my fucking
out.
nightmare.
I
So-
know, that sucks.
Funny
Like,
story.
he's got like arteries and shit.
Mhm.
Like he's gonna bleed out like
You know,
really quickly.
He did.
Yeah.
He's totally dead.
Easy.
Oops. We
Um,
didn't even mean to do that.
So, funny story. I've had that happen one time at work. Not to me,
You
of
had
course.
an arrow go through
No.
your arm and then
But I've had a guy in a chase jump over a fence. There was a spike on top of the fence, and it went through his hand here. And when he fell, when I was chasing him, he slid and it split his hand up the middle, just like that.
No!
Yeah,
Stop!
it was bad.
Oh my
The
god!
worst
He needed
thing you've
surgery.
ever shown me was the someone who tried to defend themselves against a knife attack.
Yes, that's never fun.
Oh,
Don't Google
Oh,
that stuff,
no.
people. Anyways.
Okay,
gonna
let's
Google
stop
it.
with the
Yes.
Gore. Somebody's
Let's
into it
make-
here.
Let's make more gore.
let's stop with the real
actual
gore.
Make more
Let's-
invisible gore.
We need the fantasy gore.
Yes. All right.
Okay, let's
Moving on. So that was Tim's turn. He's holding his firebolt. Bjorn, what are you doing?
There's a motherfucker who thought he could lunge at me with his tiny little toothpick sword.
It's
Who's
not the
about ready.
size.
It's a toothpick sword. I'm gonna do something. What am I gonna do?
I'm gonna.
She just keeps saying it until she figures out what she's gonna do.
Oh, you don't know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do something.
Yeah, you just
This guy's,
wait until I
this guy's
think
gonna get something did to him.
Just you wait. You wait till you know what I'm gonna do. Cause I'm gonna do it.
it's gonna be something.
I'm gonna call. Wait, no.
Phone a friend isn't an option in this game.
I was gonna say call lightning, but then I realized we're in the air, and that would be really bad.
Yeah. Well,
Do you want a burning
there's nothing to
airship?
ground you
Let's get a
to.
burning airship.
Yeah.
Well,
It's gonna explode it.
I'm okay. I was talking about the ship in general.
Yeah.
I feel like the ship might already.
The one filled with hydrogen and methane. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the thing that might explode. So mad about one.
Hindenburg.
Dinkelberg.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna guiding bolt his face.
Okay.
Yeah, so 14 plus 6, so 20. I have 2 5s, 1 6, and a 2, so
18.
18.
Yeah.
Please help.
Crickets all of a sudden with everyone trying to do the head. Yeah, quick maps. All right, and that's on
We were trying to do
Gustavo.
math.
Yeah.
All right. 18 damage. Oof. All right, so your guiding bolt, what were you aiming for? His face? I think that's what you said.
So he hit my chest, and I
Mhm.
like my chest to be not hit.
Fair.
So
As
he
most
does.
people do.
He does this, and it gives him a shock because I am. And then I'm just gonna put my hand in front of him. You
Iron
shouldn't have
Man.
done that. Right in front of his face, and just
Just cook his face. All right.
yeah, just straight. He's gonna have a crispier nose than me.
So for some reason, this reminds you of a day way back when you just met Tim, and and your guiding bolt, like everyone watching this from the sides too, just see your hand go up, very Iron Man style, right in front of his face, and then just goes around his head. A bunch of light just goes right around his head, and then when it's gone, he has no eyebrows, no hair. His little pencil mustache that he had is gone. And even his eyelids, he's kind of fluttering his eyelids, having trouble keeping them open properly, and he stumbles back a few steps.
Oh my god, he's still.
He
fucking alive?
is still alive, but again, much like Mr. Foreman, he's not doing too fucking hot. Right? Well, he's pretty hot, but he's not doing too well. And
In the event of this happening, Tim will like kind of mutter to himself, but it's a little bit louder than he thought. He's gonna go,
Where have I seen that before?
in
I
a
have a
dream.
question. This is like a talent thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to push him, like I blast his face, take a step, and just push him, can I do that, or is
That's
that not like
2 actions.
that's an action, or is
Yeah,
that like a
it's-
bonus action?
I could give it to you as a bonus action.
I'm not attached to the idea, so you don't have to. It was just a thought.
You fucked his day up enough already. Let's have him at least try to have another round to himself.
What? Why would I do that?
All right. So after he steps back a little bit, Bjorn, and the rest of you too, you hear as the wall in the back of the room slides down, and the big ass fucking mech comes rolling into the room. And you're all cheering, and you look over at Merrick, and he's like out cold on the bed.
What's the amulet?
It's the chick.
It's the captain. He's not done anything. This fucking pampy ass bitch.
And
God damn it. Sorry, hold on.
and as you guys are all cheering on Merrick, you hear that door opening up as Lieutenant Tuchable is pushing his way through the door with the amulet in his hand and saying, "Suck on this, bitches."
No. He cannot do that because you just said that he was in so much pain he can't attack. Dude, his arm is in half. There's no
he has
way
another
he can
hand.
think enough.
He's
No,
also
there's no
still
way.
on the ceiling.
There is no way he can think enough to control that object. You just said he couldn't attack.
Ruthie's so pissed.
No, this is.
I'm gonna rewind to when Merrick was being held by.
He can have the amulet. I don't give a fuck if he has the amulet.
Oh, he does.
Can't use that shit because his arm is in half. Have you ever chopped your arm in half?
Yes.
He's bleeding
Absolutely.
out.
But adrenaline is a magical thing.
He is
It makes people lift cars.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I chopped my arm in half, I made a full burrito. Ate it.
Just fucking
Easy.
eat that thing. Like,
I was
There
just
is
like,
no
yo,
problem.
way
please.
that this
I was like, oh, wrong
motherfucker
arm.
is flesh wounding this shit.
All right, look. The only thing that really matters is that the dungeon master went, he can do it. So
Here's the thing, though. He's not doing well. You're absolutely right. He is not doing well. But he has
still
enough
on the ceiling,
faculty.
too?
He is still on the ceiling, and he's at the top of those doors. And he has
more than
decided,
one
with
hit
his
point.
faculties that he has left, to put this thing in full-out attack mode.
Okay, so reaction. Here's the firebolt.
Okay.
That's stupid. That's he's a fucking human.
I'm sorry. He had enough faculties to push a button and activate attack mode on this thing.
so where?
It's controlled with this.
You're reacting a
mind.
firebolt?
I didn't say it was.
Yeah, you
I never said it was controlled with his mind.
No, you did with Meridoc.
No, he was
Merrick.
manipulating it with the functions of the amulet.
So where is he now?
Tuchable? Or the mech?
Chichable.
He's at the top of the door to the ballroom.
Okay, so like I don't really care about the mech, but
Okay.
he has to climb against the ceiling in order to move. Like
With one arm.
But the ship was moving. So he's happened to move to that door because the ship is moving forward. He's moving. Like he's still in the
once he
same
gets
spot,
stuck with
right?
The door, the ship's kind of like just pulling him along.
the ship is not moving away from the front of the ship?
No, it's moving forward still. If you remember me
Right.
saying, it's moving forward to
And the
turn around.
balcony is behind us.
so he should be
So he should be
outside.
moving that way.
Unless the
If you look at the
royal
map-
quarters is at the front of the ship.
If you look at
We
the
have a
map,
map.
the royal quarters is at the front of the ship.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Oh, it's at the front of the ship. I thought it was
Yeah.
at the back of the
Yeah.
ship.
No.
Yeah.
I knew that too. Yeah, because
Okay.
Arthur
was
jumped off the front of the
mistaken.
ship.
I mean, I just it's hard
It's okay.
to track.
Yeah, I know, especially with all these rooms
I
and
honestly
stuff. I
just
get
thought
you.
it was at the back.
Nah, it's the front. It's definitely on the front there of the mid deck. So he's moving from fore to aft as the ship is going forwards, basically, and
Okay.
aft direction is towards the ballroom. So he's basically trying to use the ship's inertia to push himself through the doors.
Yeah, it is.
I was about to say I'll go to your aft, and then you said the aft is near the ballroom. I'm like, no, I can't.
God damn it! But you just did.
I know.
Anyway, yeah,
Phrasing.
okay, that's fine.
All right.
That's fine.
As long as it all makes sense now. And Ruthie, I'm sorry, but this thing is in full-on attack mode. On the bright side, you have another thing to smash.
I'm just upset that this guy's arm's in half, and you think that he can climb his way.
It
No.
is Tarbok's turn.
No.
Oh, that was my question.
No, because
How are
he
you
was-
reacting with a firebolt?
Oh yes, Firebolt. Thank you. There we go.
But why?
Because he readied his
I've had it ready.
his attack until Tuchable tried to do something, and he's trying to get out of the room now,
There's the door.
basically.
I was eating a muffin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and launch your Firebolt. Roll to hit.
16 plus 4, 20.
That hits.
And D10 if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
Mhm.
That is a 7 plus. I believe. Charisma. It's been a while since I've hit anything.
Mm-hmm. Should.
What did Tim do in the last encounter? He was invisible, and I guess nothing.
Yeah. So 11.
11. Okay. Your Firebolt, as he's at the top of that door.
He's aiming for the arm.
Oof.
Which half?
Both. right where the split is.
Oof. All right.
Or
Your Firebolt reaches into his arm and basically cauterizes the wound for the most part. It singes his arm up on the inside quite well, and
so he has 3 arms now.
And Tuchable forgets about. Oh yeah, basically, he all of a sudden forgets about the fact that he was trying to get out that door, and he once again screams in pain. Yeah, it's kind of like when people get their tongue split down the middle, you know. But now it's like. Anyways.
Hello.
Sorry.
Let me wave hello to you.
Hey. All right. Now it is Tarbok's turn.
All right, so I've seen the mech in use previously during the fight with the Pale Hydra, so I know what's. I kind of have a. Well, Tarbok has a general idea of what's going on, correct?
Not with the mech. The only one
No,
who's seen him
I don't think
attack
it-
was Tim.
Yeah, I don't think it actually
Alright.
was activated during. No, it wasn't activated during the False Hydra fight there.
Cool. All right. All right. Well, if that's the case, I'm going to focus on the 2 guards again. So I'm sorry, Gustavo and Foreman.
correct.
So Gustavo is obviously very hurt, so I take advantage of him reeling in a blissful sun damage and just fire an arrow into his neck. Since he's like, "Ugh," right?
This was Foreman, right? Or is it
No,
Gustavo?
Foreman has-
Sorry, Gustavo. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is Gustavo.
Yeah, Gustavo. All right, fire that arrow.
11 plus 7.
That hits, yeah. Go
Cool.
ahead and roll some
I will
damage.
roll this guy. 5 plus 3 for 8.
The perfect amount of what was remaining in his life essence.
Nice. All right. So before you go on about how he's going to gurgle and enjoy his tan,
Mhm.
I'm going to I'm going to shoot Foreman in the back of his other knee.
Oof. All right,
7 and 7, so 14.
that hits.
Cool. 2 and 3. I hit him for 5.
That is one more than what was remaining in his life essence. So in one fell swoop, Tarbok fires off 2 arrows, turns Gustavo into a gurgling crispy lobster, and Foreman into a legless wonder who is now dead. Congratulations. All right.
I got a hops joke in. I'm happy.
All right, Vera, you're up. You have a mech, which I'm going to drop into the initiative.
So I have a question.
Yep.
Is Vera aware of, like, non-magical means of mechanized locomotion?
Well, your studies have been a lot around slimemancy and alchemy, right? Why don't roll me a history check?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll kind of base it off of that, I guess.
Okay. I rolled a natural 17 plus 7.
Okay.
24.
Like, in your studies, I think you've definitely you've come across a lot about, like, the physics and mechanics of certain machines and whatnot, and you definitely know throwing a wrench into gears and cogs and stuff is the best way to stop a big thing, of course. Even though you're not an expert, you've got a pretty good handle on how these things run.
Okay, but specifically, does it require magic to run in this universe, like that?
This specific type of mech, yes.
Or not? No. I mean, not like. I mean.
Oh, in our world, is
like,
it like just an electronic thing, or is it? Yeah, this
right.
one.
Do
yes.
electronics exist without magic? Is what
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, cool.
So it does require magic.
In that case, I cast Dispel Magic on the mech.
Oh shit.
And in order to do so, I will like pick up base and then be like, okay. Kind of like, this is the first time I'm doing this, and so like sort of throw but hold him at the same time, and he just kind of stretches.
Okay.
And then like eats the magic from it.
All right, so here, dispel magic. Choose one creature. I just want to like read the.
His little slime mouth turns into a straw, and you can just see him sucking the magic.
Just sucking on that magic.
What level are you casting this at?
I can only cast it at level 3 right now.
Okay.
So
any spells.
So if it's 3rd level or lower magic, it just immediately goes away.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, I have to roll.
Target make an ability check using spellcasting ability. The DC equals to 10 plus the spells level, so a 13 DC check, right? On the mech?
It would have to be 14 or... No. It just happens. Okay. It happens if it is 3rd level magic or below. If it is 4th level or above, I have to make a check to see if the spell works.
Okay, there it is. Yep. All right.
Kadi is asking, isn't the amulet protected from such sort of tampering? You're not casting it on the amulet. You're casting it on the mech.
Mm-hmm.
On the mech itself.
Right.
If you were doing on the amulet, it'd probably be different.
Sorry, I'm just reading up on this creature that I'm basing it off of here.
Sure.
I do think that whatever is enchanted on this thing is definitely higher than 3. I'm just trying to determine exactly where it is because it isn't completely. I'm just gonna come up with that right now. Let's see what fits.
Well, so in my experience, it's a combination of magic and gear work. The magic, tends to be some sort of like, I don't know, evocation,
You
or
could also compare it to a Warforged, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Warforges don't run on magic at all. They ran on alchemical fluid, stone, and then like some type of sigil that makes it unique. It's not necessarily magic at all, though.
Mm-hmm.
So it really depends
So
on
it
how this mech was
depends on-
made.
Yeah, it depends on what this mech is.
Yeah, but like Warforged also kind of like are like soul creatures.
Yeah, they're sentient. Yeah.
So they-
Yeah.
I don't think this guy is sentient.
It's not the same
No,
as the
it's
mech.
not.
I'm more talking about the construction of it.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
yeah.
parts of the mech could be
if there
magic,
is,
parts could not
I guess,
be, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So like, if there is magic, but it's not wholly magic,
Yeah.
that puts it together, I would say that would be less of a magical power than if it was fully like empowered by magic, such as like necromancy, moving bones.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I'm
Cody
leaning.
makes a point. This mech was supposed to protect the princess, so it can't be some low-level thing. So you at least have to roll.
Well,
or something,
it
but-
depends.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go full on 7th level spell as powering this thing, but also
it could also be a whole bunch of little spells.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
If it's a whole bunch of little spells, would you
just
have
make
to
a-
disable
Yeah.
like a specific small spell?
Yeah, and to do that, I would have to get into the specifics of exactly which spells are actually powering this thing, and I don't want to.
That sounds like a lot of time.
Right now, it would take a lot of time to kind of throw that together. But let's give it a DC of, in order to just disable it and cancel out whatever spell is letting this thing being controlled by the amulet. Let's say a DC of 16. Does that seem fair?
I'd say even a little higher.
I mean, it's hard to.
Yeah, well,
It's
the
hard to
rules
say.
around Dispel Magic says that it's a 10. The DC is a 10 plus whatever level of spell is controlling it. And I'm not gonna do 7th level spell. I could.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go one lower, say 16.
I'm just curious. What spell are you saying?
Dispel Magic. It says the DC.
No.
Yeah.
The spell you're thinking of powering it.
I don't have a very specific one in mind, to be honest. I don't know all of the spells,
Oh,
so
okay.
that's I don't want to go searching for the appropriate spell, is what I'm saying. Because if I were to do that, then
Oh, I
might
thought
take
you had
some time.
something specific in mind
No.
because you kept on saying 7th level.
Yeah, no, I'm just
Anyway,
saying
it's
like
fine.
it's a type of magic.
I got an 18 naturally, so
Boom. All right.
Even if it was higher, you would have gotten it.
Yeah, and honestly, that was a good insight into how this all works too. So, your base, your biggest slime that you have, as you just kind of like toss him forward, like you said,
Yeah.
he just like fans out and wraps around this thing, and you can't really see too clearly through base. You say he's kind of a gray slime, correct?
yeah, it's gray, speckly, kind of metallic-y gray, I guess.
Okay, so you can kind of see through him still, right? Or is he more like a putty?
Maybe not as much. Yeah, he's more like a gray putty.
Right. Okay.
More opaque than not.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So it's hard to tell exactly what's happening under base right now, but you hear a lot of clunking and a lot of whirring as you see this shape just kind of like shifting around, and then it's suddenly just still. And as base just kind of like slides off of it, you see this mech is completely powered down. It's kind of crouched down in like deactivated mode, and it's not showing any signs of life anymore. And from the back of the room, you hear Tuchable go, "Ah, fuck."
Yeah.
Gotta love when people one hit
and
your
then
big
Vera
monsters.
And then Vera just fucking glares at him.
Yeah, look threatening.
Yeah.
I'm shooting her
the
eye.
littlest moon elf. All right.
This is the only thing I can do.
Well, you just one-shot one of the biggest creatures in tonight's session, so
Thumbs up on
congratulations.
that. You good.
All right. So with that,
Oh my god. Can we take the mech with us? Make the mech small and send
oh
it
my
to
god, that's
maybe
wonderful.
we can make up. Maybe we can have the
We can think about that later.
Okay.
Yeah, but I will say at this point, you guys are effectively out of combat. There's nothing T'Challa can do. His cronies that were with him there are toast. The other two guards that were there have just been kind of like frozen this entire time. They were not sure what the fuck was going on. They were just kind of they were definitely not the best people to hire for that job. Exo comes crawling out from underneath the table and just goes, "The fuck was all that about?"
Your suspicious man was suspicious. Now get the royal family to the lifeboats. Evacuate the boat. Terrorists are terrorizing. Go.
In the midst of all of this, Tim's going to aggressively walk to T'Challa, draw his rapier from his cane, put it to T'Challa's throat, and he's going to attempt to... Well, I mean, by this point, I'm sure Tim could be like...
Yeah, lower him down or something like that, right? Yeah.
Oh,
just dispel it immediately.
Sure, okay.
Just onto the
Yes, with
As
like
Tim's
a...
aggressively walking toward him, just... Boom!
Yeah.
Draw the rapier from the cane, put it to T'Challa's throat, and he's going to intimidate him.
Okay, and what do you say to intimidate him?
Who else?
Because he
Just
hurt
who
him.
else?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure T'Challa is going to get at what... Because Tim clearly heard him go...
Yeah. You did. All right, roll me that intimidation roll, please.
Yep, just got to get my number. So that is a 9 plus 7, 16.
Okay. It's wisdom, right? Yeah. He fails. He rolls an 11.
So in the midst of this, right as T'Challa is about to talk, Tim's going to drag the blade across his cheek.
Oh my
Wonderful.
god.
That's very Zorro of you. All right. T'Challa doesn't even seem to... He doesn't seem to feel the scratch going down his cheek because his arm is literally blown apart. But he is definitely... He knows that he's fucked. The jig is up with him. And he's crumpled back against that door as you're just scraping his face with your rapier. And he goes... Too many even for you.
Tim doesn't like this answer, and he's going to insert the blade into the wound that was previously burned close.
T'Challa, you see him grit his teeth, and he goes, "Ugh.
I'm sorry, what was that?
There's 8. They're probably taking this fucking ship down as we speak. Good luck getting everyone off."
You're on the show.
As if you're gonna let me live.
Wouldn't that be a twist?
Yep. So he said.
Roster.
Okay. Do I go and get people to the lifeboats? Or, yeah, here. And he hands you the roster, which, as you recall, doesn't have specific names. It just has...
Oh, that's right.
Right? It just has numbers of staff.
Tim looks at this and remembers and goes,
Shit.
So did the captain leave to start
and
people?
Immediately afterwards, he goes out and he starts... he brings the other 2 guards and he's like, "If you 2 can't fight, at least you can get to the fucking lifeboats. But bring other people with you, you lily-livered..."
Do you not have an alarm bell for your boat?
ding, 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 ding.
"That's where I'm going." And he
Okay.
boots it out of the ballroom and heads towards his upper deck there.
Does he have a peg leg?
Do you want him to have a peg leg?
He just clinks as he's
He's-
walking around.
He's got a peg leg, but it's actually carved in the shape of an actual, like, it looks like he's got a clog on the end of it. So he's got like a foot on his peg leg, and it
Can
has...
there be like a shark engraved on the side?
There is a metal shark
Sure.
bolted to the side of this leg.
There you go.
Yeah. And you hear it
Okay.
clanging as for some reason he's wearing spurs as he walks out of the room.
That's so extra.
Why not?
This is an acceptable acceptable. This is acceptable. Okay.
Focus, Ken.
Continue.
Focus.
I am. I'm focusing on Spurs.
I'm derailing. I'm sorry. I'll stop. I'm sorry.
All right, so he goes, and after a short moment, you hear that bang, 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 bang. And you hear the bustle of people out on lower levels and upper levels too, rushing towards the life rafts on the side of this ship. As they technically have already been kind of doing that so far, because again, the ship is like it's lowrider style in the air right now, as its ass end is dropping still. Yeah, so you can assume that he's safely doing that.
After Tim hears that, he turns to everyone else. He goes, "You heard 8, right?
You what?
You guys heard 8, correct?"
We did hear 8. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong voice. Yeah, no, we heard that there's is it 8 more or an 8 total?
That's 8 more.
Good.
We got what we wanted.
And Tim inserts the blade into his throat.
There are no twists today. I'm gonna look at him like,
No twist.
Pretty much just
there's a twist probably.
Remove the blade from the elbow, insert the blade into the throat. Draw and be done.
don't forget to wipe it.
That is
like
he wipes it on Tuchable.
Oh, okay.
That is on his white uniform. Oh, that is another image. Fucking gory as hell. But if you are good at art, yeesh. Tuchable leaning against the wall. Anyways, touchable Jesus, if you are here watching, I promise I didn't make you the bad guy out of spite.
It's nothing against
It's
you.
nothing against
I promise.
you had an
love
epic
you.
character. I wanted to give epic characters, and sometimes it's the bad guys. Anyways, very.
Sometimes the best characters are the bad guys.
That's true. And this one just met his demise in a very gruesome manner. That was dark.
It wasn't a quick stab either. He just casually inserted.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh jeez.
Good job on making him die painfully. Trying to monologue.
That's the true punishment.
There you go. All right, so there you go. Tuchable has been vanquished. The mech has been successfully fucking rerouted, and Jesus Lord. I think now would be a good time to end what's going on the ship with the evacuation effort, and we're going to scoot on back down to Arthur. Just to close things off. Arthur, I think you're kind of sitting there in your bubble while these guys have been figuring out what the hell to do.
No, Arthur is in his bubble, but he didn't realize he let a fly in the bubble. So he's been spinning around in the bubble trying to catch this fly and force it out. The fly is refusing to fly through the bubble. So he's just kind of spinning around in there like a, I don't know, child in a womb or something, I guess. I don't know.
And these guys are just watching you.
Graphic.
Well, I was trying to keep along with the gore thing, you know?
Okay, good job. You're on theme.
Well,
yeah, every so often the two guys would see Arthur's leg or arm stick out and go back in.
It's like that cartoon fight where there's a big cloud of dust and you just see an arm stick out. Yeah.
Yep.
That's wonderful. All right, so these two guys have been watching you roll around inside and kind of conversing when they realize that you're not coming out of there, and just do you think he's stunted, up there? Do you think he could actually be a spy? Maybe he was just talking to a coin. The other one, I mean, we've come this far. We've already kind of attacked him. Hey, bubble guy, Arthur, right? You said?
Yep.
You want some juice, buddy? You want some snacks?
Arthur's head sticks out from the bubble.
Well, I do like juice.
He just looks left and right. He looks down, kind of looks back up at the guys, and he's like, "I don't see any juice."
Well,
messing with me? But Arthur kind of tries to just mess with me, just kind of eyes him.
These guys, they kind of look at each other and give each other a knowing nod for a second, and oh no, bud, that's okay. We've got a lot of like pomegranate juice and orange juice all back at our camp. I know that. I'm sorry. We thought you were a spy. Watch, and he puts his dagger away and kind of nods to the other guy who does the same. Are you allowed to have alcohol, or is that mom and dad don't let that?
Mimosa?
First of all, number 6. We don't talk about mom and dad.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Arthur kind of like looks up at the sky, like hoping to see his friends coming soon. And he doesn't see them.
You do see the ship, I'll say. You see the ship, and you see it kind of like listing backwards a little bit.
Arthur sees this, he just goes, "Eeh." And he just kind of looks back at the guys and kind of ignores seeing it, like pretends like he didn't notice. And he's like, "Well, you ever heard of a mimosa?" Or, no, I'm sorry, mimosa. A mimosa. That's it.
Yeah, bud. We got tons of that back at the camp. Like, I could
Like
mix
how
you up a fresh, like as many as. I mean, you don't want to get sick, but we'll give you some alcoholic juice. Does that sound good? Like, we can hang out and you can tell us exactly what you're doing here.
How many can you give me? Exactly.
How many do you want?
Enough to trade you for a ship.
So, you're gonna take our booze and then trade it back to us?
No, you offered it to me. You guys, you guys understand how a negotiation works.
You know what?
Arthur goes back into his bubble. He's like, "Let me know when you're ready to talk. For real."
He looks. The dude looks at his friend, and his friend just kind of. And then the guy without who wasn't smoking, he keeps going. He says, "Okay, no, you're right. I'm new to this negotiation thing, but our boss he's pretty good at it. I can toss," and he tosses his dagger behind him. He's like, "Let's just go and talk to him. We just want to know what your terms are."
I was just trying to say hi. Arthur pokes his head back out again. His crown like comes out after his head comes out. And because the magic has to like stop for a second, and he kind of gets it to work again. And he's like, "I just wanted to have a smoke and have a conversation with your friend there, and you guys got all weird on me."
Yeah. Well, see, we're.
I'll tell you, go get your boss.
Okay.
I mean, clearly I'm no harm to you. I mean, I don't think.
All right. Well, here, little buddy. How about this? And pulls out another spliff and lights it up, and he says, "Okay, buddy. Let me just explain something to you here. We're not exactly operating with. How do I put this? We kind of work within gray areas. We move things that aren't always legal. We're not bad, like we're not killers, we're not bad, but that's why we're so protective. You understand that, buddy? Little guy?
Yeah, you move the things with the guy, and sometimes they fall off the ship, and that's okay. And
exactly.
you got things that, yeah, I got you.
And so I was really worried that maybe you were trying to prevent the other people from getting these things.
Oh no, I left my badge back at home. I don't have any thing. And Arthur kind of like starts
You're the
laughing.
people the police don't like. I don't want to talk to you.
Arthur starts laughing. He's like, he goes, "Listen, I'm a tiefling that fell from the sky. I'm just here to get home."
Is that kind of like an angel? It doesn't matter. Okay, well...
How many angels do you know have horns?
A few. Well, I'm not going to get into that. But how about this? You are a tiefling then, right? This is your actual, like, this is what you look like?
He goes, "No," and he snaps his fingers, and he's like a turtle.
Okay, well, this is... The tiefling is... You turtle back into your bubble. The tiefling is the one that you've been in the most, so I'm going to assume that's you. We might be able to... Can we trade you a ship for some estimates on some things?
Oh? Arthur turns back into a tiefling, but not like he doesn't snap his fingers. He just kind of like dispels the minor illusion normally, I guess you could say. he just kind of like it just kind of vanishes off of him. He just kind of looks peculiarly and, what do you mean estimates?
Well, why don't you just come with me? I'll show you.
But if I come with you, you're gonna stab me.
No, I threw my dagger. I threw my dagger away. I promise. We have mimosas, and you can tell us how much certain things are worth in these crates.
Can I do an insight check to see if they seem like they are trustable or truthful?
Okay, go ahead.
I got a 13. Not well.
His body language so far seems to indicate that he definitely still thinks you're stunted mentally. He hasn't for a while. He hasn't changed his approach with you. He's very much just trying to, from what you can tell, yeah, he still thinks that you're not all there.
Okay, so Arthur will kind of like step out of the bubble, like he like puts his leg out, and then like the rest of his body kind of comes out after his legs, like he was stepping over something. He turns around, looks at the bubble, and he's like, "Huh." Then he kind of just like the bubble just kind of just goes, shrinks, and just disappears out of nowhere.
Just pops out of existence. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. And the guy, he hands you the blunt, and you guys walk back to the camp or wherever it was that they were at, and you get to this wharf, this boatyard area that they have, and once again you see everyone that's carrying these boxes kind of stop and look, and they have a bit of surprise on their face. They might not have thought that you were going to come back so willingly. And they start like putting down the boxes and stuff and just kind of gathering. And a quite portly man. You can tell he's definitely fond of pastries, but he is still very formidable looking. A very tall human man, about 6'3", maybe 320 pounds, half muscle, half jiggly. He comes out, and he's got a big scar down his neck and shock black hair shaved into like a warrior hawk mohawk kind of thing. He comes out and he goes, "Now, who are you, and why do my guys say they felt some worry about you?" And before you speak, the dude who handed you the blunt, he goes, "He's here to drink some mimosas, right, little buddy? And he wants to help us, right, friend?"
Yeah, Arthur kind of looks at him, and he kind of like grunts his face up a little bit, and he goes, "Now, as opposed to later, you wish to know this." And Arthur just kind of stares at him.
I don't know what he mean, guys. What does he mean? And the other two guys just kind of shrug.
Where's Rachel?
Guys, what's your name, friend?
Arthur.
Is he fucking with me right now?
Arthur changes his crown from blue to red. Like it switches.
Anyhow. And the two guys start to explain.
Hand out. Sorry, he does go to shake his hand.
Okay.
After we shake hands. So he goes, "Arthur." And he's like looking up at this guy, and he holds his hand out to shake his hand.
And the guy grabs it with a big iron grip and gives it a quick shake. Let's go. And the other guys kind of walk. One of them walks up to the boss there, and he whispers in his ear, and he says, "So my guys say that you might be able to identify some stuff. What do you think of these?" And he cracks open one of the crates, and inside the crate, Arthur, you immediately recognize it's all highly expensive artifacts from Agrabah. Fuck, I hate calling it Agrabah.
Your fault.
But where you're from, Arthur, is And these are all family heirlooms. Like, they are all ancient pieces of art and tapestry and you name it within these crates. And they have depictions of tieflings on them in battle, in prayer, in all sorts of different situations. And the boss turns to you and he goes, "Is this worth anything, or should I just toss it in the ocean?"
So Arthur, he goes, "Let me take a look." And he kind of looks down, and his eyes kind of go wide. He's just kind of like staring at this box, and he just goes, "Oh my!" And he kind of reaches into the box, and he pulls out a little golden lion. And Arthur's sitting there staring at it. He's just looking at it, and he recognizes this lion because this lion was his.
You sure it's not bronze?
It might be bronze. He doesn't know. He actually doesn't know, but it's something. So he's looking at it, and he puts this lion back down. He kind of looks into the box, and he sees all these other pieces. He recognizes a sword from like the military when he was in it, from like a general or something. He starts like kind of going through all this stuff, and he starts kind of like tossing pieces out randomly, and he's digging through, and he finds a ring with like his family crest on it, and he looks up at the guy, and he's just like, "I need a minute."
And that's where we're going to leave it.
Yeah, he just kind of stands there after saying that.
All right. I think that's a perfect spot to leave it for tonight's episode. I'm looking forward to the reuniting whenever it does happen. And
soon!
Soon!
Like great.
Right then.
We all walk in.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Arthur needs his family things.
All right. Thank you guys.
Bjorn comes thundering down and murders the king.
With the bag of
Thunder
folding.
is right.
So the only downside to that is Bjorn can't use Featherfall. So he does come down thundering, but then, you know, he's like a meteorite. It's just a meteorite. Get it?
Oh my god.
And then it's just a shower of more gore.
I love gore.
Damn.
One does not simply just walk into more gore, all right? Sorry.
You can featherfall into it, though.
It's a good song.
And that's where we all
Good night.
But yes, thank you again, you guys. You all have a wonderful night. I think we're on track for next Tuesday, and we will see you guys in a week's time. If not tomorrow, or the day after, when you come into our streams, hang out, hop in the Discord, say hi, tell your friends about us, because we're trying to reach that partnership goal. Or not partnership, Jesus.
And we need more friends.
We're trying to reach affiliate.
Oh
We're trying to reach affiliate on this channel so that we are able to give you guys some sexy emotes in order to use in the chat and make fun of us and whatnot. So you can do like a little Arthur head somewhere every time Arthur does something stupid and cheeky.
Fun.
So anyhow, thank you guys again so much for all the love and all the support.
We could have dabbing Tarvok.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yes.
Wonderful.
That's a great idea for Tarvok.
All right. Y'all have a wonderful night, and we will see you all next Tuesday. Take care.
Good night.
Bye.
Thanks again for joining us for this week's episode. We can't wait to see you all next Tuesday. Take care.